Welcome back, Full Heel Podcast. I'm your host, Rafael Chaidez, the host of the Full Heel Podcast. Joining me today, returning from his absence, all the way from Canada, my buddy, Ryan Dempsey!
I'm back. I'm better than ever.
Ryan Bischoff over here?
Yeah, over. Yeah. I am back and I am ready to talk some wrestling. It's been way too long, my friend.
Yes. It has been way too long, so I put up the bat signal. These guys, I don't know, they're football season, I don't know what's up with it. So I took Mondays back over. Mondays are mine. No, if they need Mondays, I guess I'll give it back to them. But as for now, me and Ryan are gonna talk about wrestling for today. So if you guys haven't noticed by now, we will be talking about In Your House Breakdown 1998. I did not know it was an In Your House, Ryan. You did not tell me.
It's funny because I forgot that after a while it was an In Your House pay-per-view, but they just didn't put the banner In Your House up all the time. Like they just kind of like how they do it now, where they're just called each pay-per-view, each month is just its own thing.
Yeah.
They started more focusing on the names of the pay-per-views and calling it In Your House this or In Your House that. When I looked it up and I was trying to figure out what to do, and I saw Breakdown, like that was a good one. I remember the main event, and it was just it didn't register to me that it was an In Your House, and I was thinking, it kind of makes sense because we've been doing all the In Your Houses back in June for the NXT one.
Did you choose it because it was a Canadian one too?
No, I 1998 was like such a fantastic year for me when wrestling, and the Austin McMahon storyline. This one, it's right in its prime, and SummerSlam just ending. I was trying to see what was happening after in like the September, October of that month, and Breakdown just happened to pop up just by chance. So I went with that one just to go because I'm very familiar with that SummerSlam with Undertaker and Austin and all that stuff, and the Kane Undertaker storyline that was going on at the time from King of the Ring into SummerSlam and now into Breakdown and forward into Judgment Day and that. I think there's a lot of great storylines that were happening, and it just happened to fall in September of '98.
It was a nice little escape from Fight Companions and
right
and producing football episodes. But it's fine, I love doing it anyway. But I hadn't done a wrestling episode for a while. Jesus has been busy. He did join us for a Fight Companion not too long ago, like 2 weeks ago. But we haven't been able to get a wrestling one in, so finally we're able to get one in. Well, me and you. But it's me and you, well, like we mentioned, we've been absent from it too for a while because the whole situation of you moving to Windsor. How's that been, Ryan?
It's been fantastic. I mean, the circumstances are shitty. As if you go back and listen to some of the prior episodes, you can get a little bit more of the backstory. But marriage is over. We moved back to Windsor to kind of hit the old reset button on life and see what's going to happen. And now I'm back in kitchens. I'm kicking ass. I'm taking names. I'm climbing ladders, reaching for that Money in the Bank briefcase, so to speak. I guess you could say. No, it's professionally, I'm at a high that I didn't think I could ever achieve in a short time frame. Personally, things could be better, but all things being what they are, I'm in a good space right now. So, just taking it each day as it goes, and seeing what happens next.
That's awesome. Sounds like you're in a better spot since the last time we did one of these. Yeah, Canadian Stampede was the last one we did, right?
Yeah, back early July. I think I was here for like barely a week. I think last time we hit record, and things were fresh, new. I barely had a job. Wasn't sure if the bills were going to be getting paid or not, but No, things have changed quickly in the past 2 months. So
Well, that's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome. I'm glad we got to talk some wrestling, and you picked a hell of a card. I really enjoyed this one. It hit me right in the nuts. 10 years old. I was 10 years old when this happened, 1998, or not. I was on the verge of turning 10. So
yeah,
this was awesome to see all the old superstars that.
just prime attitude era.
Oh
Just
yeah,
like
dude, this is prime.
yeah, this is where you could see like if you were to watch WCW at this time frame, you could see where they were fumbling and making errors because WWE was just like wave after wave after wave like of talent, of pay-per-views, of stories, of character. Everything was just nonstop. Just go 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 go.
At this time, um,
Like 98, this is Goldberg's just got the title, right?
I'm gonna check to make sure, so I don't, because I don't know exactly what it was, but WWE had won 6 weeks in a row. Finally, they had finally broken the streaks of 83 weeks. They had 6 weeks won, but I think WCW won the one right before the pay per view, or the one. No, they didn't win the Zamboni one. The Zamboni's after this, but the Raw before this pay per view, WCW took victories, or they were switching back and forth after 6 victories
Yeah.
from WCW. So
Yeah, like this summer was big because you like like Austin. I want to say 98 was the Goldberg Hogan. That July was, but anyway, like, yeah, you had Austin on top. You had the NWO on Gold. Like it was one of those ones that going back and forth. It wasn't just WWE getting buried week after week after week. Like they finally had found their footing and they were able to just throw everything at them. Like I mean, and we'll talk about some of the characters and storylines that today would not go over. I'm sure, but
so I'm seeing it's Fall Brawl. I'm guessing is their pay per view that they put on.
okay.
It's what Fall Brawl 1998. What date is it? September 13th, 1998. So yeah, this would be the pay per view that they would rival with. And
Oh, yeah.
the one before this though was
22 years yesterday. That's funny.
yeah, it was Jay Leno. The one before this though, I think at Road
Oh,
Wild.
that's great. That's right because they had like that DDP was with Leno and Karl Malone.
Yeah, so it's Diamond
in-
Dallas
in
Page and Jay
back-to-back.
Leno with Kevin
Oof.
Eubanks taking on Hollywood Hogan, Eric Bischoff with the Disciple, and Miss Elizabeth.
That's rough. Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, that was their main event, and then you had Goldberg won the Battle Royal, the NWO Invitational. That's a pretty bad pay per view, especially
Yeah.
seeing as like that was one of the first pay per views that the NWO did.
Like when they brought Rodman in, it was fantastic for like the shock value. But when they tried to do Karl
The
Malone,
Shock Master.
but when they did Karl Malone on a pay per view in a main event, and then they bring in Jay Leno for a pay per view main event, like you're grasping for straws at that point. Like you're hoping for everything, and it's like Jay Leno. No one's watching professional. I don't care if you love wrestling or not. You're not watching Jay Leno beating up anybody and thinking that it's a legit story. Like
Yeah, so we had this pay per view, which I think in some aspects people didn't. I enjoyed it just because I haven't seen it in forever. But in terms of WWE putting on badass pay per views, this wasn't one of the greatest pay per views they put on. Maybe I would say mid tier, maybe high mid tier.
yeah,
But it's not up there. It's not one that people talk about. I didn't. When you told me about this, you're like, hey, let's let's
Breakdown
do
September
1998 breakdown. That's what it was. Let's do 1998 breakdown or September breakdown, and I'm like, the whole month,
month, yeah.
and you're
Well,
like,
and that's-
oh shit.
I was thinking about it after I watched the pay per view the second time around. Like, there's so many great matches and there's so many great characters on the card. But if you take away a couple storylines, there are some matches that are just kind of just thrown in there just for the sake of it. Being a wrestling fan, you appreciate those guys. But if you step back and be like, wait, if they had done this and they had done that, those storylines could have been better. And I'll talk about it, like my opinions as we go through the card on it. But yeah, like it's. I think also coming off like that SummerSlam where you had Austin versus Taker. You had the New Age Outlaws in the handicap match against Mankind with Where's Kane, and you had X-Pac and Jarrett in the hair versus hair match. Like, there was so much going on at that SummerSlam. It was so big. And then
That's what she said.
and then you have this Austin McMahon storyline that's overtaking all of professional wrestling, that it's very easy for a lot of the undercard to kind of fall at the wayside, where they just have to be like, okay, like, we want Austin.
Ryan,
we want...
all of wrestling? Come on.
No.
WCW had Fall Brawl, Team WCW, Diamond Dallas Page, Roddy Piper, and come on, The Warrior defeating the NWO. Hollywood Hogan, Bret Hart, and Stevie Ray. Oh, and then there was the Wolfpack incarnation as well in that match.
I definitely 100% stand by that Austin McMahon statement. Like,
yeah.
Like
no,
well,
that's their main event versus Breakdowns, which was the main event is Austin versus Undertaker and Kane. So there you go.
And even still, like that Austin versus Undertaker and Kane, in the grand picture, it was, from the fans' point of view, it was McMahon versus Austin, because McMahon is putting all these stipulations against Austin.
McMahon versus McMahon, Undertaker, and Kane versus Austin. 3 on.
Yeah, and that's it. And that was the story of 1998. Like, throughout even when, like, in Survivor Series a couple months later, when The Rock ends up winning the title, this big storyline was still Austin versus McMahon. That people didn't even realize that The Rock was being groomed for the title by being screwed over by McMahon the same way that Austin was. Like, you were so focused on Austin McMahon that you couldn't see the forest for the trees, kind of thing. It's and it sucks because there, like we said, like, there's so much talent on this card, but their storylines kind of got put on hold for the sake of a pay-per-view. But then the next night on Raw, the storylines continued, no problem. And it's like, okay, I get it, but it could have been better.
Let's see. Before we get into the match, or the card, you got anything to talk about, Ryan? Nothing. I don't know. I'm grasping for straws. I got no figs. I actually did get Finn Balor this week. I showed him to you though, right?
Oh yeah, that new Finn, yeah.
Jacket Finned. They've released a bunch of these. He was like a network spotlight, and then they just.
Oh, have you seen any of those AEW figs yet?
I want to get them. I just haven't. They look pretty cool.
I haven't. I've checked a couple stores just to see.
It's only Walmart, so just so you know.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, like I've checked out nothing yet here, or I don't know if they're even in Canada yet. I'm not sure.
Well, you have Walmart, right?
Oh yeah.
Because you don't have Toys or Target, so that's why Toys R Us would carry all the Target exclusives.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got that razor. I showed you that razor, and then I was so happy. And then recently he showed up at my Target.
One, right?
Yeah, he's wearing the blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
He recently showed up at my Target, and I wanted to get another one, but I'm like, nah, calm down, Rafa. You don't need another one.
Yeah. Here's the thing. But this one can stay in the box, and you can sell it for $250.
Yeah, exactly. When Razor dies. Oh, wait, when Scott Hall dies. So any minute now, you never know with that guy.
Yeah, seriously. No, but
no, he's clean now. Congratulations to him. He's clean. He's been clean.
I was actually just watching that his Living on a Razor's Edge the other day. It's like, fuck, man, what a. Yeah.
I do have a sealed one though. I always had a Razor Ramon. That was my first fig that started the collecting again. Jesus gave me that for my birthday.
Oh yeah. That's I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, he's got the Intercontinental Championship. He's wearing purple, but he's in that golden box, the golden square box.
Yeah.
I just don't want to fuck with it, so I'm gonna leave it in there. But now I got the blue one to go. So I have a bunch of Scott Halls. Yeah, a bunch of those. I got like 4 of those.
I get the Razor in pink, man.
The Razor in what?
The Razor in pink.
The pink pants and the Cabana shirt.
Yeah,
I've seen them. I passed them. I should have gotten them.
Like 20 Montana, like hardcore.
Yeah, that's when he's doing his vignettes.
Yeah. Those, oh fuck! Take me back, man. Take me back. I thought 1998 was a great year. Now I'm having flashbacks to even earlier.
94, 93.
Oof. Back when I was 8, things were even more real.
But I've been doing this keto diet, and now I'm cooking for 4 people. Podcast.
Yeah, man, you've been looking good, man.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, just been eating healthy. But so I cook for 4 people now. Cook for my brother, me, and my 2 nephews. So I'm gonna practice every day.
That's awesome.
learning different recipes. Well, not really learning different recipes, just perfecting the ones I have and adding.
And that's it, right? Like that's the fun thing too with it when you start something different. Like I know you've been doing it for a while, but it's one thing that I've always appreciated about cooking is that when you change a diet or you change an eating habit or you try something different and then you stick to what got you to the show kind of deal, but then after a while you decide to change it up and you're like, oh, can I do this, can I do that, and can I mix this, can I season that? Like it keeps everything fresh, right? Like though that was the taco salad I think it was the other night.
Yeah, so I cook a bunch of chorizo, and one of my nephews eats tacos because he doesn't have to be keto. He's 14, but he'll take some rice, some of the keto rice I make, and then he'll make a bunch of tacos with the chorizo.
Nice.
And then my other nephew gets the taco salad because he is keto. So I just take away the tortilla and I just pile a bunch of lettuce, and I just throw all the ingredients that I would into a taco there: avocado, tomato, throw some lime on top of there, avocado, sour cream, some cheese, and then a bunch of chorizo.
Extra fat sour cream, right?
Yeah, extra fatty sour cream. It is Mexican sour cream. La Chona or something? I don't know what it is. I do get regular sour cream though.
I worked with a guy from Mexico at where I'm working now. He just recently left. On his last day, he made fucking straight up like corn shell tacos and brought in like all the fucking accompaniments. Oh fuck me! That's like it's like you eat this and every bite you're like, how did I grow up eating like old El Paso? Like
yeah, exactly.
It's like you take one bite, like the meat, like he did like a slaw kind of thing. It wasn't just lettuce; it was like a cabbage slaw that was like pickled and stuff, and it was like he had like I don't even know what the spicy sauce was, but I've never tasted it. It was like, oh dear God, like my mouth was just saying, please, like don't let this meal end. Like, it was so fucking good, man.
Yeah, no, shit like Taco Bell and stuff like that, it doesn't compare one bit. It's its own thing. It's its own thing.
And the sad thing is that people actually think like, oh, I'm having Mexican. Oh, what'd you have? Oh, Taco Bell. Well, okay.
You had the ingredients that could be a Mexican food, but spiced differently and it tastes differently.
Well, especially with the fact that people are like, oh, I had Mexican Taco Bell. Like, that's not even meat. Like, it was grown in a bag.
Yeah. So when I cook, I use red chili flakes, the ones that you put on pizza.
Yeah.
So I fry my chicken up with them and it puts the chicken spicy enough to where you're sweating a little bit, but it doesn't hurt your mouth. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't spice up the mouth, so you can keep eating. And my dad the other day, I had a piece of chicken on the cutting board that was left on there, and he picked it up and he ate it, and he's like, "Whoa, that's hot." He's like, and he's like, "This guy eats it because he's 14." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "But that's hot. He likes it hot." I'm like, "I guess so." I'm like, "He hasn't complained. He hasn't said shit." But it's to the point where it doesn't suck.
Right.
You gotta. People ask me like, "What do you use?" I'm like, "Just salt, pepper, and fucking red pepper flakes." Red pepper flakes is some of my favorite shit to fucking cook with.
And that's it. Like you put like a small amount, and it gives it a little bit of a kick. You put a large. It depends on how much you want for a lot. It all depends, but like it. Sometimes a little salt, pepper is all you need in life, and then like you said, like a little something to give it a kick, a little bit of heat, a little spice, just to flow in and out, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I see the shit you do over there. That shit's art. I need to get those bottles though to do like vinaigrettes and like sauces and stuff like that, because I could lay it out, but then you do like drizzle the sauces and shit like that for the lettuce. It makes it look so much better.
And that's the thing too is like everyone's like they always look at those like the little squirt bottles and that. It's like the tricks are also like you got to like sometimes you got to like have the spout of it. It'll have like little lines and you got to cut so that you can have like maybe you want a thicker spreading or a thinner spreading on the plate. It's all about angling the bottles, cutting it certain ways and that, and a little bit goes a long way, right? And that's it. And you eat with your eyes first. So in the professional world, it's so I
gotta wait for it to cool down. That's just gonna burn my eyes. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
we
Visually,
gotta get.
it's got to look visually good for you to. Because if it looks like dog shit, it
Well, that's it.
doesn't have to
Even,
taste like. It could taste like the best thing in the world, but if it looks like dog shit, you don't want to eat it.
no, yeah, that's it, right? And once borders open and we can cross from Canada to America and back and forth again, I'll definitely treat you to a nice meal.
Nice. So now I know why I was stalling. I wanted to say something. I just didn't know what I wanted to say. So I want to thank all the viewers, all the people that listen, everyone that downloads. Keep downloading. Yeah. Download. This is the best month of downloads so far ever for FHP. I've been putting in work. I wake up and I promote. I'm going to sleeping promoting. When I'm taking a shit, I'm promoting. I'm just promoting, and just getting the show out there more as much as possible, as much as I can on Twitter. And it helps. It really does help, as much as I fucking sometimes forget. But the days that I promote are the days that get a shitload of downloads. So I'm looking to break shatter records this month. It already broke the record. I want to shatter it. It's mid-month. I still have the whole month to go. So please keep downloading, subscribe, smash that like button. Let us know what you think. I've definitely seen some more subscribers. It's been helping. I just have to be more vocal and take it, I guess, as a job. No, like you said yesterday, no one's gonna promote me like myself.
Yep. That's it.
And until I gain some more clout, some more popularity, then maybe I can get some more people sharing in platforms that fucking get me views. Twitter's where it's at. I don't know why, but Twitter's the big one. That's the one that gets me a lot of views. Sharing on Twitter. But once again, thank you guys. Thanks everyone for subscribing to the podcast, for listening to the podcast. It really helps out. If I can keep going with this and keep seeing growth, hopefully one day I can start getting paid for this. And like Ryan said, I can cross fucking borders and go visit Ryan and be balling over there. Take some Jordans.
And the real shenanigans will start.
Yeah. I could actually take this mixer and we could actually podcast over there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've talked about the idea of doing that.
Yeah, this mixer is actually portable and versatile, but I need to get a laptop now too for visual capabilities. But you want to get into it, Ryan? We've been bullshitting for 20 minutes.
Let's get rolling.
Rolling. Wasn't that around the time? Oh, no. We don't got biker ticket.
Yeah. That's like 2001, I think. Or maybe, actually, no, 2000. Right after WrestleMania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Bad decisions as a kid in music. But whatever.
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing. I'm like, I had a kid the other day. He said, "Hey, Ryan, you ever listen to Limp Bizkit?" I'm like...
I don't want to admit it, but yeah.
I did, but I'm not happy with some music choices back then.
Yeah. So, in the first match, we have... and I had no idea they ever wrestled each other. Did you know they wrestled each other, Ryan?
I did.
Okay.
Only for one reason, and it's that it's Edge's solo pay-per-view debut.
Okay, yeah. So, we have in the first... match of the night, or not the dark matches, we have Edge taking on Owen Hart. Owen Hart from the Nation of Domination too, not just any Owen Hart.
And in pure, and this is a Canadian thing, pure heel mode.
100%.
And because he's in Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
he's wearing a Toronto Argonauts jersey, so it'd be like if they're in Green Bay, guy come out in Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Football jersey, right? So it's
whenever dude, it's dangerous here in Chicago. You don't do that shit. You don't wear Green Bay shit.
Like Hamilton and Toronto, when it comes to the Canadian Football League, Hamilton and Toronto have like that big rivalry. So when Owen Hart came out in the Argonauts jersey, I was like, oh fuck, I forgot that he wore that. That's fuck, man, I miss Owen so much.
It's fucked up, but I want to ask. Do you know the details of his death? Because I heard a little bit of detail on like exactly how fucked up it was. Like pretty much like his sternum and whole chest was like caved in.
Like, caved in, yeah. Like when he fell and he hit and he went back, like the impact, like. I mean, because like when he hit, like there was like blood was all over the ring.
I also heard that he like sat up or like tried to sit up and
in the ring. He tried to sit up in the ring, and he was It's like the shock, right? Like they say, like, if you get shot, you don't realize it, and you try to do something before you realize what had happened. Like
Yeah.
it, like that, like they tell you the stories and that. But yeah, like from everything I've heard, like when he hit, he tried to sit up and he could not do it, and it's.
Yeah, I don't want to bring it up, but anything Owen, it always brings to mind, man, because because what we lost, like we have no idea what he could have been, his potential.
And I will say, like I've watched the Vice documentary a few times. There's a lot of take it with a grain of salt because of his wife, because his wife was against the business when she met him. So there's a lot of the information that you hear in that documentary isn't the same as what Brett has said in his book and what Brett has said on the record also. So like if you've watched that Vice documentary, it is a fantastic watch, but there is also like a lot that you need to take a grain of salt and realize that there are some lies in that documentary. And it's funny that we're actually talking this because I was just listening to something to wrestle from I think 2 weeks ago. It was about The Rock's 1999, and they talked about the Over the Edge pay-per-view, and him and Hunter were going over their match, and Guy comes out and says Owen's been hurt, and Rock's like, okay, should I go to the ring? And Vince is like, if you want to. And they're standing there waiting for the Rock. He's like, okay, should I go? Should I go? And they're like, you know what? If you go out there, they're gonna think it's all a work. Like, don't go.
Yeah.
And then the Rock said how they stretchered him back, and like I almost fucking lost it listening to the podcast. Like, listen to it, just like hearing Bruce Pritchard talk about the Rock's reaction.
Yeah.
Killed me.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even coming from the Rock. Like, that's.
I don't know if like because of that episode, like, and them talking about the Rock seeing that injury is why I heard about because I was listening to a different podcast where they talked about the Owen injury and they went into like specifics, and I was like, holy fuck, I've never actually heard the specifics. Like, I've never like looked into it. I just,
Yeah.
he fell from that height and died.
The way that like when he hit, you can watch the clips on YouTube. They don't have any actual footage saved. Like, they do have the footage, but they don't have it saved to view. But Jerry the King Lawler, within moments of it happening, he's in the ring and he goes back to sit with JR, and he said it's not good. So I mean, like, he knew right away that it was not going to end well. Like, that's how bad the injury was.
Yeah, and I heard that WWE didn't want to pay the Sting guy, the one that did everything for Sting.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to fly him out. So they paid a dude that said that he worked for Sting and had done it for Sting.
Yeah.
And he had never really done it. He had worked with people that did it, and he was just kind of there.
And they even said like that they had done dry runs. Like McMahon, to his credit, like that Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 12 entrance, Vince did that zip line. Like, that fall, like it's been all over the internet the last couple of months, but Gronkowski didn't want to do the fall, and then Vince just jumped and did it from, actually I think it was Money in the Bank.
God damn it, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, like Vince did that drop that Owen did. Like, Vince did it, so like everyone knew that these things should work fine. Like, the boss, like, I mean, Vince wasn't 70 at the time, but he climbed up the rafters. He looked at it with Owen. He dropped, and everything went fine. So, like, why wouldn't it? Like, so that was the idea. It was like, well, why wouldn't it work? And it's, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta weigh out the risks, and that was, and for a joke ass skit that wasn't gonna probably go anywhere.
And the funny thing was that Owen was supposed to fall.
Yeah,
right. Like, he was supposed to get however far, and it was supposed to freeze, and he was supposed to be stuck in suspended animation kind of deal, and then he was supposed to unhook it, fall, and be goofy. He wasn't supposed to fall the 78 feet that he fell or whatever it was, but he was supposed to fall.
Yeah. Let's not harp on this, Ryan, with the fucking poor goddamn Owen Hart. We should do an episode on it, though. On the, If we wanted to, we could do a
We
whole
should do an
episode.
Owen episode, a tribute to Owen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Like,
that's what it should be. It should be the own episode. But this, we should talk about the match. Man, because it sucks. It sucks so bad. I want an Owen fix so bad. But the first match was Owen Hart taking on Edge. So this is Edge's second pay-per-view. His first pay-per-view, he was tagging with Sable, and he was Sable's mystery partner.
Yeah,
We've covered that. I'm pretty sure. Me and Jesus have seen it.
The SummerSlam '97. I don't know if we've covered it.
Maybe
but
me and
I
Jesus.
think we've. Yeah, I think if not, I know we probably talked about it at some point in time. I don't recall covering it though. But
Yeah. So you mentioned that Owen was heel here because he was wearing the Argonauts jersey.
yeah.
But in reality, they both got cheered. Crazy.
Oh, there
was no heel. He played the heel, but he wasn't a heel.
And even Jerry King Lawler tried to like ramp it up, right? Like he's like, look at him, he's wearing an Argonauts jersey in Hamilton, and it's like Jerry King Lawler's doing his fucking damnedest to make it sound that. But yeah, like you got two Canadian kids, and when WWE does like one pay-per-view in Canada every 3-4 years, maybe it's very rare for them to make it to Canada when they do 12 pay-per-views a year. They get like a Raw here or a SmackDown there, but yeah, when it's like and in Canada you never boo, like you never boo the Canadians, in Canada, like regardless of who they're with. He's in the nation, for Christ's sake. Like DX is so white hot, and the nation he's getting cheered.
Just shows you how popular he was too. Well, both of them.
And Edge was super white meat.
Yeah, dude. I didn't even know they wrestled.
He was so new to the company, and he was still over. That's how big these guys are in Canada.
Yeah, and it was a good match. It wasn't like a crazy match. There was a couple of good spots.
You could see where it was sloppy because of Edge's inexperience, and you could think like if these guys had this match in like 2-3 years, it would have been elevated.
Yeah,
but you could definitely see that Edge had a lot of potential in the way that he carried himself in that match.
There's an awesome spot where Edge jumps from the apron and Owen catches him and then swings him around and slams him on the floor. And he went with it. Edge was going with it the whole time, but it was a hard slam on the mat. You can hear the thud.
And that's a spot that we've seen like a messed up a lot, because it can be a very hard one to do if the guy doesn't jump the right way, doesn't angle himself the right way. You can make it look right, but you can tell that there was like a missed cue here or there. But these guys hit it perfectly. And like the spot, the one move in wrestling I hate the most is when the guy's on like the second rope and he jumps and he doesn't do anything. He just like jumps up and down. The guy puts his foot up and he gets the kick in the jaw. It was like so popular back in the 80s. And they did it here, but Owen reverses Edge's foot up into like a sharpshooter attempt.
Yeah,
and that was a fantastic spot because they took something cheesy and make it look like legit.
I think you're right that given a couple more years, they would have been a lot more polished and clean. It's just we mentioned that Edge, he's new, or maybe he's getting the jitters because he's new to WWF. But he's a little too fast on beat. Like on the beat, he's a little too fast on it. And Owen is, trying to bring him back down to it. And the spots that they do miss, I think, is because Edge might be a little excited. He might be missing it by a little bit. But it's nothing that like the regular fan that doesn't really watch wrestling would be able to catch.
Right. Yeah.
Just by what they're able to do, they're good reversals, they're good holds.
Especially when you see, like with us, we have the availability of knowing Edge's career, and now we're looking at something that happened at the very beginning. So we're like, oh, you know what? That's you can see, like I said, 2-3 years down the road, how much better that match could have been. But we have the knowledge of what Edge is capable of. So so you could see you said the jitters, like a little too quick here, a little too quick there. But yeah, Owen definitely helped guide him through that match.
And it just goes to show you, great teachers and great students make superstars.
And how about the fact, like, can you imagine, like, you're Edge, you're like 20-ish years old, And hey, okay, your first pay-per-view, you're in New York City. Your second with Sable, the biggest diva at the time, maybe of all time after Sunny. Your second pay-per-view, you're going to be, 2-3 hours from where you grew up, and you're going to be going up against Owen Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a Canadian kid, that's fucking mind-blowing. From New York City with Sable to just down the road with Owen Hart. Like, that's a pretty massive start to a pay-per-view career for a guy like Edge. Yeah. From Orangeville, of all places. Like, it's not even Toronto. It's like a suburb. Like,
yeah. And on the lead-up, we had Gangrel saying come home, or he's going to come home. And people are confused because Edge, he hadn't said anything. He had not spoken one word, so there's no promos. I think they only had like video clips of him, but he's never said a word.
Those weird video clips too, where he's like standing there as like cars zooming by, and then like he's like just standing in like an alleyway. And the mysterious Edge. Yeah, so Gangrel's like he's alluding to something, and in this match we see what he's finally alluding to. And towards the end of the match, right before Owen picks up the win by cradle? He did like that. I know
sunset.
He flips up. He hooked his feet and edges
under the armpits.
Rolled him up a little bit.
Yeah, the 1, 2, 3 caused. He got it because of a distraction caused by the debut of Christian.
Fan. No, just some fan. Just some fan. No, JR said, "Who's this fan?" That guardrail.
So we don't know. No one knows. Christian takes off, and Edge follows, and that is the debut of Christian. So we will see Christian. I don't know when. Later on, I guess. But
I think I'm gonna guess like one of the next couple of Raws, and that he'll start making his appearances.
Which I'm kind of intrigued now. I want to go see this because I was 10 or 9 and 10. I want to go see exactly how it started off. Do they go into the Brood right away? Does Edge join the Brood? Because
there's that little bit where they're kind of like it's Edge, or it's Gangrel and Edge have that rivalry, and Christian's with Gangrel, and then Edge kind of turns heel and joins the Brood, but the Brood was never like they were kind of like that, they weren't necessarily bad guys, and like they're
vampires.
They were that was it. Like they were heel-ish, but they were cheered like it was. Until they joined the Ministry, and then they were full out heel. They were kind of like that, like in betweener.
No, it's like South Park. You have your vampire kids, you have your goth kids.
Yeah, your goth kid, yeah.
And then
oh, that's a great reference.
But yeah, no, because they were popular too. So you could even fucking JR and King were talking about it the whole time. It's like, well, the crowd's cheering for him. It's like, but how can they cheer for him when he's got that red liquid that he's drinking? And like,
that's the thing. And like, and with Edge and Christian, they didn't talk. Gangrel had like that, like the blood gimmick, which is supposed to be heelish. But Edge and Christian at the beginning didn't really talk as much, right? So you didn't know, like, are they good? Are they bad? Like, Edge is fighting Owen Hart, so he's a good guy, but he's also a vampire, so he's a bad guy. Like there was a like, but he doesn't get any time on the microphone, so he hasn't get his angle out, so you don't really know what he's about.
Now, didn't you watch Twilight, Ryan? Isn't that what it's about? I don't know what it's about.
I have no idea what it's about.
I know there's vampires and wolves in it.
Yeah, I know.
And now that vampire is I'm Batman.
Never mind. Kara tried to get me to watch fucking Twilight or tried to read the book. She's like, oh, it's got vampires and werewolves. I'm like, oh, sweet. It's like Underworld. I'm like, fuck, it's nothing like Underworld.
No, it's a love story.
Yeah, fuck me. That was a terrible book. Yeah. I got like halfway through. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Small tangent. Did you see the trailer for Batman?
I did. Colin Farrell looks ridiculous, man.
Who are you? I'm vengeance. And then he beats the fuck out of him.
I did like that. There was that thing where it's like, people always say, like, oh, vampires don't turn into bats. It's a myth. And then that Robert Pattinson went from being a vampire and now he's a bat. Apparently it's true.
Yeah. It happens. It happens. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yeah.
I heard New Mutants sucked, so.
I'm never against a good Batman movie.
Mm-hmm. So back to this. Yeah, so Gangrel, Christian debuts for Gangrel, distracts Edge. Edge gets rolled up. Owen picks up the win. So it's a start to storyline in the second pay-per-view ever. So we get a quick start and a good story that will carry on for the rest of his career, pretty much. Christian and him are still kind of
they're almost
unseparated.
Like Undertaker, where there's something where it's like they team up, they're rivals. They team up, they're rivals. Their careers always mesh.
Yep.
Christ,
both world champions.
13, 14 years after he debuts and everything, like, when Edge had to retire, Christian ends up benefiting by getting 2 championship world championship title reigns for the sake of a storyline that he probably never would have gotten in WWE if it wasn't for Edge having to retire. So it's they definitely benefited a lot from being together.
Second match on the card was Al Snow and Scorpio, or Flash Funk as ECW knew him, with Head. We can't forget Head. Everybody loves Head. Taking on Too Much, Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor. Too hot and too sexy.
And they're just like months away from the biggest push of their fucking careers, man.
Yeah, dude, it's so hilarious. Brian Christopher plays that character so well.
They come out in those uniforms, like, or those outfits, and they had a bunch of different designs and styles in their early run. But all of a sudden, I don't remember how it happened, but when they came out as Too Cool,
yeah,
and all of a sudden they're all hip hop, I'm like, I was all for the hip hop, right? Like that was they were fantastic in that. I don't remember when they had the light switch off and then they flipped it on and went from Too Much to Too Cool. But Christ almighty, like, talk about guys that benefited from a little, the smallest tweak in their character. Because they had the same arrogance of Too Cool in this pay-per-view. They just didn't have the dance moves and the outfit. The persona was all there. Like you said, Brian Christopher fucking eating it up. He looked more like a middle stripper than the guy on the street. But god damn, like these guys were fun, man.
Yeah, R.I.P. Brian Christopher. He sadly took his life in jail. He was arrested.
He 100% was murdered in jail. But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah. Scott Taylor, I don't know what he does. Scotty Too Hottie, I don't know what he does though.
He makes the random appearances on wrestling here and there, but I think they had him on Where Are They Now on the website, and he does his own thing. He has his own business.
Otis stole his worm. He does the worm now, and he's super famous for it.
And he does the larva.
The larva? No, they call it the caterpillar, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right, because he's the heavy dude. It was the heavy machinery.
Yeah. So
because the cat from the fucking excavators and shit.
What?
Those like the big the dump trucks and excavators and that, they have like their cat. So I think they call it the caterpillar based off of that. Okay. That's what I always thought, but I could be 100% wrong. But
I'm high, so I'm gonna believe you.
Yeah, I'll take it. If I can convince one person, it's a win.
So the ending to this match is kind of weird because there's a confusion as to who's the main one that should be in there between Scotty and Brian Christopher.
Well, when Al Snow gets the mannequin head,
Al Snow gets the tag and he comes in
whacking everybody, and everyone's whacked with the mannequin, and then all of a sudden everyone's getting pinned and everyone's getting finishers.
Yeah. So. Like Ryan said, Brian Christopher gets hit, Scotty Too Hottie gets hit, Scorpio gets hit in the head with head.
We should rephrase that. Brian Christopher gets head.
Yeah, they all get head.
Everyone gets head from Al Snow.
Head was so over. The crowd was so over with fucking head. Dude. They loved it.
That actually, talk about figs. Have you ever heard the Al Snow and head controversy?
Yeah, at Walmart, it was pulled because some lady.
Because some woman complained that it was a woman's severed head.
Yeah.
And I had that toy, man. I should have had it kept in a box.
It would be money.
Retired right now, man.
Money because they had to take them all back as much as they could.
Unbelievable. But like Al Snow pinned Scott Taylor, because then Brian Christopher gives him that flying leg drop, and then it was just like quick succession. Break up a pin. Like a lot of there was a lot of good fundamentals in the match, and you could see Scott Taylor and Brian Christopher, like, you could see that they're trying to build them up, and I mean, Al Snow and Scorpio are two of the best in the business to help get guys over. But the ending was just so, like, it was such a cluster. Like,
Yeah.
there was almost too much happening. Like, they could have gotten away with a little less happening in there. Like, a couple pinfalls less would have made a big difference in that. Like, I mean, they got the clean finish at the end of the day, which is always good.
I like the move too, the snowplow. Al Snow.
Yeah. Like, it was the getting there that was just.
Yeah.
Like, and even at the end, like, Brian Christopher was just standing there when he was getting pinned. Like, he looked like he was like, "What's happening?" And by the time he got to 2, Scorpio just, like, grabbed his legs and tackled him. Just because it's like, oh shit, this guy's standing while his partner's being pinned. He's not doing anything. I gotta take him down.
And then Scorpio at the end, when they're on the outside, he goes up to Al and he's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then Al's like, "Ah!" And the crowd's like, "Yeah!" Everyone loves Head, dude. Sorry, what can I say?
Fuck, man.
That's how it goes. But for what it was an awesome match. Where it was a nice break in, like, seriousness of, it's still wrestling, but it was a nice little break from the previous match, which wasn't all too serious. But I guess leading into his story and everything else, it will become a serious kind of thing.
Yeah.
So after this, there's like a promo with Undertaker and Kane, and he's like, "Austin, your title is mine. This is business. This isn't personal," or something like that.
Kane.
No. That was the promo. This one is Michael Cole asking him who's gonna take the pinfall. And he's like, "Michael Cole, that's none of your business."
And the best part too is like Kane just standing there, he can't speak a damn word because of his character, so he's just like looks at Undertaker, looks at the camera, looks at Undertaker, looks at the camera. It's like you could tell, like, I want to win the title too, but he can't say anything about it.
When does he officially speak? When he takes the mask off, right?
Not even then.
For a while he's like, it's all burned.
DX. I'm gonna say like around like 99, 2000. X-Pac gives him like that little modulator, and X-Pac's like, if you're not down with, like, he helped the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac, and they're like, if you're not down with it, we got 2 words for you, and they hand him the thing. He's like, "Suck it," and I'm just like, okay.
How does voice get fixed?
He took his mask off,
and now he's mayor.
All of his 3rd-degree burns were healed. His voice came back.
His hair came back.
Everything. That was hilarious.
So
and they tried.
Yeah. After this was the Drozdog match.
So let me just double the card with that. It is
Mark Merrow with Jacqueline.
Yeah, Mark Merrow and Droz. Yeah,
taking on Drozdog. And
this is the ones that I was talking about earlier, where people kind of get lost in translation in the storylines. In SummerSlam, you had Edge teaming up with Sable to take on Merrow and Jacqueline. Why? To me, it's like, why not continue it here, as opposed to throwing in like a makeshift quick. We need 5-6 minutes filled. Merrow, Drozdog. There you go. Boom, done. It's like, okay, I guess. You're trying to get Drozdov over a little bit. Merrow's kind of, I guess, eating up time on his contract before he's gone. But this match to me made no sense based off the storylines that you had created the previous month. And it's a very forgettable match.
Yeah, no, this is just thrown in there.
And this is what happened to the Attitude Era. Like, they had like 70+ strong roster where you could name 70+ guys that were like entertaining as all shit. But they all want to get on the camera. They all want to be on the pay-per-view. They all want their own story, and it's like, you can't do it. And then you end up with this.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I mean, that's just me nitpicking for the sake of it.
No, but you're right. It was an all right match too. It wasn't like anything crazy. Like, oh man, there was two great wrestlers that they just put together because they wanted us to see a fantastic match. It was just there to eat up time.
Yep, and it sucks too because this Mark Marrow I loved when he came in as Wildman Mark Marrow. It was fun, but when he came in with that boxing persona, I thought that it was like they were gonna like really run with it. But he kind of just got like sprinkled in here, sprinkled in there, and then contract expired and they kept Sable.
Yeah, well, I think that's what they really wanted. Well,
Yeah,
Russo, I think that's what he really wanted.
yeah. And it just kind of sucks too because like when you see like even like that finish when he does his splash off the top rope.
The shooting star press?
No, he does. He does the front word, doesn't he?
540 splash?
540. Yeah, I think it might be. I think it's the fight. Yeah. When he does it, you're just like, fuck, God, like, how did they not utilize this guy any better?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he got a couple Intercontinental title reigns. It was legit and all, but he could have had more, man. And he gets Drozdov. I mean, I would have liked to have seen him versus Owen or him versus Edge at the opening slot and give them a couple extra minutes from this match added onto that match.
Mm-hmm.
But
they mentioned that Drozdov was super young in this too.
yeah, he had just come over from the NFL around this time, and yeah, he was one of those guys that I don't really know if he would have had a super long career before he was injured, but the storylines that he got were like, you know, murdering Hawk and Legion of Doom, like okay, and like teaming up with he gets teamed up with Prince Albert because he was his tattoo / piercer. I'm like, that's okay. Like, and a lot of the stuff that he did, just it felt like almost like how this match was done to eat up time. It was just done to eat up his contract time.
Yeah, I could see that. Because
yeah, I feel like they saw that he was going to be a bust, and they were just trying to like give him some quick things just to eat up the time before they could release him. And unfortunately, he that neck injury, which was paralyzed.
Yeah. Well, wasn't his thing puking?
Yeah, because he had nerve.
You puke on command.
And he threw up on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon's like, "We're gonna call you puke, and you're just gonna throw up." And
he's gonna puke.
And you watch it. He's like sitting there in that. If you ever watch Beyond the Mat, like he's in that meeting for like a good 30 seconds, like he's and like there's nothing, and then all he does is like, he spits, and Vince is like, beautiful. I'm like, he didn't throw up though, like he threw up legitimately because of nerves. Like he's not like he can throw up on command. Like it's it's like if you fart and you shit yourself. Like, oh, he's the human shitter. Like no, like it doesn't work like that, Vince.
Well, if you make sure you have diarrhea every day, then yes.
Yeah, just eat X-Lax every day and then just go to the ring.
Then you'll be the human shitter. Or you can be Christine Kish or Justine Kish from the UFC.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna make like an Odell Beckham Jr. joke.
Oh yeah, right. I heard he poops on girls or something.
He has to get pooped on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Don't want to get HP sued.
Yeah. Especially now that we're getting downloads.
Yeah.
So Mark Marrow picks up the win with the help of Jacqueline. Jacqueline hits Drozdog in the head with her heel. What a heel move to hit someone in the head with the heel. Only on Full Heel Podcast. Heel.
Too much, man. Yeah. Too many heels.
Yeah, so she hits Drozdog in the head. Mark Marrow hits his finisher and picks up the win. Next match after that was... This one was kind of just there too, but it was good, and I guess there was a little bit of backstory. They tried them as a tag team. I don't know if it backstage just didn't get along or that was just a story. But these two guys beat the dog shit out of each other.
Yeah. And this is like that in between Bradshaw, like he wasn't the accolades yet, and he had just come out of being
knocked out.
The new Blackjacks, and that tag team kind of went away, and I think it was on something to wrestle. Like they talk about how high Vince was on him. Like they wanted to push him, but just something was just not clicking until he joined the Farouk and formed the Acolytes and the APA and everything. Just to the moon and back.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems so weird. He had cowboy boots still, but he had like this weird. Nothing about.
He was in his, I guess, blackjack wrestling attire.
Minus the blackjack.
Minus the walkout attire.
Not the vest. Didn't have the hat. Didn't have the
assless chaps
on. Yeah, like everything. He just comes out in like the black trunks and the white cowboy boots. And
then he's like, Vader, you fat ass son of a bitch! I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for that language. JR fucking do damage control.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Val Venus is about to come out and cut the promo of all promos, and no one says a damn word. But no, yeah, like this was it was a good match. I feel bad for Vader because he's just about to leave the company in a few months, and Vince was so finished with him. It was just like have Bradshaw kick the shit out of him, then have Kane kick the shit out of him, then have Bradshaw kick the shit out of him again, and then go to Japan.
Yeah.
Like that,
They did kind of push him strong though, or at least equally strong against each other. Even though he picked up the loss, Vader loses. Bradshaw picks up the win. Like I said, it's a false count anywhere, no disqualification match, and they beat the dog shit out of each other. But Vader
go to clotheslines.
Yeah, so Vader hits him with his Vader bomb off of the ropes. Bradshaw kicks out, and then Bradshaw hits, I think, two of his
he
clotheslines from hell.
Clothesline from hell, and he kicks out, and then he hits him with a second one, and then he did like the weakest neck breaker in the history of professional wrestling and gets the pin.
It was a verified neck breaker, all right?
Like Vader's head slipped out of the hold as you fell.
Yeah, and for some reason he picked up the win, even though his move is a clothesline.
Yeah.
Maybe Vader's like, I'm not taking the clothesline loss. That's not big enough.
Fine, we'll give you the weakest neck breaker in the history of professional wrestling.
Yeah, take a neck breaker. My neck, I can't move.
Yeah.
Neck's important, dude. If your neck's fucked up, you can't do a lot of shit.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, so Bradshaw picks up the win, and how many years later is he going to be fucking JBL?
98. He wins the title in 04, so 6 years.
Oh shit! So,
but he had that tag team run with Farouk.
The APA
for years.
Or the Acolyte Protection Agency.
He went from Acolytes to the APA.
Yeah. Hey, did your cat attack you earlier?
No.
Or did it scare you?
Oh, she just jumped up. I didn't know she was right beside me, and she just kind of like, yeah.
I caught it in the replay of the YouTube.
Oh yeah. She's
like,
Well, I never know when she's gonna pounce.
My brother got a cat.
Nice.
All black boy. He got it neutered already, but it's super friendly. Nice cat. I like it.
Name it after the Black Panther.
No, I told him to. I'm like, you should name it Black Panther.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm gonna name it Bandit, and I'm like, you should name him Chadwick Boseman.
Okay. Yeah, just call it Chadwick.
Yeah. But no, he named the Bandit because he's all black.
Shit's weak.
Yeah, well, it's his cat, so I could have gotten the brother of it. He was all gray, so there was an all gray one and all black one. The gray one looked really cool too.
Call him Smokey. Oh, Smokey the Bandit. Oh, damn.
It would have worked, and I could have. And I smoke, so it would have worked out.
Hey, look at that! It works on so many different levels.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't take him is I have way too much shit, and cats paw everything off of everything.
Yep.
I would come to my fucking floor just covered in figs all day. Paint chips and everything off of them.
I get home from work and I have Brett and Austin on top of my fridge. I get home and Brett's on the ground or Austin's on the ground. The cat's sleeping on top of the fridge. I'm like, of other places you could sleep, couch, bed, carpet, floor, you choose the top of the fridge. Like, oh, God damn it! Like, if any pieces of Brett go missing.
So one thing I learned about cats that I did not know. So I've always said I respected cats, but I'm like, they're fucking dicks. And like they think they own everything, and they're like, and I'm just like, I never get one. I'm like, but I respect them because they're tiny little lions. But so my brother got a male cat, and like he's super nice, He doesn't do anything. He just chills all day. He sleeps. My brother got him like as a kitten still. Like he wasn't that big. He was like maybe this big, and now
Right.
he's almost adult size now. And like my niece, she's 7, and she picks him up like all crazy, like a 7-year-old, all dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're gonna make him mad, and he's gonna attack you, and like he never does, and like he's upside down, he doesn't care, and like he's super friendly, and like people started telling me like, oh yeah, female cats are bitches, and they're dicks. They're like the guys are pretty chill, and they let you pet them, and they let you, do whatever you want, and they're like especially if you neuter them. And my brother got neutered not too long ago anyway, because you didn't want him pissing everywhere.
Right. Yeah. You don't want them when they get into heat and they start spraying and shit. It's the last thing you need.
Yeah, but it's a cool cat. But back to wrestling. We went over the finisher, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the neck breaker, and then the 1, 2, 3, and now we're on to the second match I guess the third match that I really don't.
You can audibly hear it though that Bradshaw's just fucking.
Oh, he's talking shit the whole time.
Yeah, he's talking shit the whole time to Vader, calling him a fat ass. Yeah.
I need to go back to listen to that Something to Wrestle, because I want to see if Bruce Pritchard talks anything about this era. I don't know if he was at the company. Yeah, I think he was at the company this time, but I want to hear his take on this, because I want to know. I know that Bradshaw's had a lot of trouble with a lot of guys backstage over his career. I want to know if there was like legit heat with Vader, or if it was just storyline. Because I mean, he's basically planting the seeds for JBL.
Yeah.
In this match, it's just doesn't grow the way that they thought it was going to for a few years.
So when I first watched the pay-per-view Sunday, yesterday, when I saw who was on it, or when I saw this match coming out, I saw Vader coming out, and then I saw Bradshaw interview, and then I saw him come out, and I'm like, oh, Vader's winning. And then when Bradshaw won, I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that was so confusing. But if you kind of look into the future and see what's going to happen, you do see that Bradshaw does get some kind of a push with the Acolytes and then the APA, and then which would lead to his eventual title run against Eddie Guerrero, where he wins a title, then becomes SmackDown's longest reigning champion.
Yeah, he'll hold it for like 10, 11 months almost.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like JBL, like you could, like, I remember Pritchard saying how high Vince was on him, and it was just he could not get over. And when he finally got over, it was with a tag team. And I think when Farouk got hurt, they tried to push him singles again. And since APA was so over, and it didn't work, so when Farouk came back from his injury, the Acolytes went back together, and he took straight off to the Stratosphere, like all over again. They were like, they could not figure out why they couldn't get him over unless he was in a tag team. And then basically, like Vince did with Roman Reigns in this era, Vince just shoved him down our throats. Like, here, he's going to be playing basically me, a billionaire with a title. Like, but yeah, it's the match could have been a lot better when they say Falls Count Anywhere. You start getting excited for like a little, like especially Attitude Era Falls Count Anywhere. You think there's going to be some. Well, you said they beat the shit out of each other. You think there's gonna be some chairs? You think there's gonna be like a lot more outside?
Not as much as you think.
And Falls Count Anywhere, and it ends in the ring.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a kind of a bizarre way to end it, I guess. But again, like I said at the beginning, Austin McMahon was the storyline. Everything else kind of just was thrown in there to eat up time to get to that point.
Mm-hmm. Match after this was D'Lo Brown taking on Gangrel. So we get a view of Gangrel, and so we still don't know that Christians is going to help Gangrel eventually in the future.
Right, yeah.
But
and it's and very another weird match. Like they start the match out by doing like this past Monday on Raw. D'Lo loses his European title to X-Pac, and since he lost his European title to X-Pac, naturally he doesn't get the rematch. He has to fight Gangrel. It's like, why take the title off of him Like at that, like if you're not gonna have a rematch, you're not gonna use the title on the pay-per-view. Why, like,
Why
just a
mention all that?
bizarre. Hmm.
Why mention all that? Yeah, right.
Yeah, why take the title off of him if you're not gonna do anything right away, or like,
Especially on a pay-per-view.
yeah, like, that's what you had. He dropped it 6 days before the pay-per-view, and that's like, and they said, and now here he is after losing his title to X-Pac. Now he is taking on Gangrel.
Yeah, and then we have
Okay.
Xbox and a 6-man.
And there's no storyline. They didn't have a chance to have a story because he lost the title on Monday, and Sunday he's fighting Gangrel. Like there was no history between these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just I mean, two guys that like, I mean, D'Lo. I feel like he was one of the most underrated superstars of this era. He was fun. His promos were fantastic. I loved D'Lo growing up.
Also, a Nation member.
Yep, and Gangrel was a fun character. You know, being like the vampire kind of goth thing going on. But there was just nothing to the match. It was just two guys going at it. That's it.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of just there, like one of the matches that we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
No storyline. Good wrestlers, but not a great match either. Like we've seen them in good matches, not fantastic matches, but two all right guys going at it. Kind of just in the 8th spot in the card.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. I think Gangrel just hits his DDT, right, and he wins.
No, Mark Henry interferes.
Oh,
And
okay.
D'Lo picks up the win, and then Gangrel hits the DDT.
So this ends
After the match. Like after the match, he like Gangrel's like, "What the fuck?" Like I fear if he spits blood at Mark Henry and then hits the Impaler DDT on D'Lo, and then he just leaves the ring, and Mark Henry's just standing there like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
Like,
you're right, because this ends Gangrel's undefeated streak. He was undefeated till this point.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he just even loses his undefeatedness just out of nowhere.
yeah. I mean, and the thing too is like you see, if they had a good story, it could have been fun because D'Lo hits his running power bomb. Gangrel had some good offense. Like these guys hit their moves, and there's just no story behind it. It was just tossed together for the sake of eating up 10 minutes.
Should have had Christian come out and interfere for Gangrel.
Yeah, that there you go. Because all of a sudden it's like, hey, that mysterious kid that was at the beginning, now he's back. Like, yeah, like, or like even just don't have this match. Have X-Pac take on D'Lo, and have or like
A rematch, yeah.
because I mean X-Pac's in the middle of a storyline with Jeff Jarrett, so they take the title off of D'Lo to give it to X-Pac, but then the tag titles and the European titles are now tied up in a 6-man tag that they're not being defended. Keep the title on him and say, Gangrel won a number one contenders match on Raw, and now he's fighting D'Lo. There's your story.
We need Southern Justice out there, all right?
Yeah.
We needed them.
Yeah, we had to have it.
Yeah, we had to. I wouldn't have watched this if we didn't have it on there. I would have fucking not paid.
And by the way, you take the tattoos off Post Malone, and he fits in Southern Justice. He had that curly hair, the beard. I was like,
Yeah. I'm not paying for this bullshit if I don't get Southern Justice on this pay-per-view. What do you think I am?
Yeah, but it's like
Some kind of mark?
Southern Justice and Jeff Jarrett versus New Age Outlaws and X-Pac. Awesome, fine, do it. But why does D'Lo Brown have to suffer losing his title for that match to have when there's no title defense? I don't get it. But this was the thing.
DX
right?
was more popular.
And they toss titles back and forth all the time on Raw.
Just like the NWO, they got all the titles all the time.
Yep.
Even if it was a bullshit fucking thing.
I mean, I think there was the thing where they said on Raw in 1998. I think it was 98 or 99. The title changed hands something like 7-8 times on Raw. The heavyweight title of the WWF Championship
On Raw.
7-8 times. Mankind, Triple H, The Rock, Austin, all win the title on Raw. It's this is unheard of. Now you don't get a title change in 3 years when Brock Lesnar's the champion.
Ryan, we gotta hurry up. Raw Underground might have a segment and I might miss it.
You see Nia Jax knock out someone.
Yeah, or Nia Jax is gonna beat up some dude. I need to hurry up and finish. No. I've been skipping Raws to record episodes. I have them recorded though. I will go back and I watch them, but
Oh yeah, that's right. You mentioned that.
yeah, I just won't watch them live if they're not going to be any good, and I'd rather record an episode of my podcast when my friends have time to record. So this was Frankie's time. I think he's scheduled now to work on Monday, so I think we're open actually. Now that I think about it, I think we're open to do episodes on Mondays now. So if you want to shoot out a episode idea for next week,
Sure.
that
Yeah,
way
we
I can get
can-
notes and everything and hand them out to you.
Yep, that sounds good. Yeah. I dig it. Check out break down some pay-per-views, some Raws, some SmackDowns.
And we can do breakdown format, or we can do a watch along. If we could start it earlier. I just have to leave everything cooked from Sunday, or like today. I left a lot of prep done, and like I cooked a lot of chicken breasts just in
Or
case.
you can even just sneak in a Raw because they usually go for like an hour and a half, 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah. We could do
Sneak that in there.
an early nitros too. They are in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the early nitros were 2 hours also.
Yeah, so we can do some of those if we wanted to watch alongs. Sneak
That
one
sounds
in.
good.
If we're like too busy and can't take notes and like do a little bit of research with this one, I was able to. Well, not so much. I would like a little bit more time, but I had Sunday free, so
Yeah, this one was kind of like a really quick thrown together thing.
this is how much I like fucking Full Hill Podcast, dude. Catch this. So yesterday, instead of not watching the pay-per-view and making sure I watched it a bunch of times so I knew what I was talking about, I didn't play Call of Duty and I watched it, and I went and I read a bunch of stuff on it, and then I listened to the podcast, and then I watched it again.
Yeah,
So I watched it like 3 times actually.
I watched it yesterday afternoon, started, finished it in the evening, then watched it again in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
After I say evening, but it was like midnight, my evening. And then I watched it again this morning when I first woke up.
Yeah, I might after this. I might take some notes for the Fight Companion this weekend. Woodley versus Covington. Your boy Covington.
I hope Covington gets his fucking jaw broken again. Fuck, man. So cringeworthy.
So after this, D'Lo Brown and Gangrel 5-star match, we get the People's Champ, The Rock, taking on Ken Shamrock and Mankind in a steel cage match, first ever in WWF.
Yeah, triple threat cage match. Fantastic. This was I don't care. This was a great match. Mankind with his shirt opening up, looking so you see Dude Love is still there. So people don't forget he still has multiple personalities.
How they each turn on each other during the match, so they each double team each other like in succession. They each go around a turn.
And I like too, like even before the match even happened, there was a quick interview with Ken Shamrock, then Mankind, then The Rock.
Yeah.
So it was like to really just lead into it, like and then Rico. But again, the only down part about those was Ken Shamrock's promos were never his strongest points, but it wasn't overly terrible. Like, oh, dude, Mankind.
Well, like, so
in Mankind's promo when he says, "You might," was it you? Oh, what the fuck did he? It's like, Ken Shamrock, you might be as dumb as I look, or something like that. Like, like such a great line. Like he insults himself to get over, and like, I don't think that the fans caught it because no one cheered when he said that, or no one laughed. Like it was so good. Like I missed Mankind's promos back then were on point.
And this is prime Rock. He's heel, but the crowd loves him no matter what. You candy asses.
And he's about to start the nation's about to kick him out.
Yeah.
And he's about to start going up against McMahon, about to turn heel all over again. Like, oh, The Rock's like starting the fire, right? He's about
to kick it up a notch.
He's got the flint. He's got the sticks. There's some smoke, and he's gonna go white hot in a matter of weeks at this point in time.
The crowd goes like the whole time. The crowd is behind him 100%, dude. And he's heel. He's talking shit left and right. He's saying they got a little sugar in their testes, and Mankind's like, is that a new cereal or something? Yeah. Like we have good promos between The Rock and Mankind. Shamrock's was okay, But in comparison, they shit on him 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's kind of bad luck for Shamrock. I think he needed polishing in that department. I think in the ring he had all the skills necessary.
Shamrock needed like a Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
He needed the guy that could talk for him, and he just come out, kick ass, and leave. Like that's
May I volley?
yeah. But no, like this match was so fantastic.
What do you think of him with Roman?
I like it. It's something that Roman needs. Roman needed to be healed a long time ago.
Sucker and succotash. What are you talking about?
But he could not do it on his own, right?
Sucker and succotash.
When Seth Rollins turned heel, he didn't need anybody.
Yeah.
Right? Him getting the authority was kind of like a bit of a beneficial move in his career. Roman, as a face, is good on his own, but as a heel, he would never have gotten over. He needed to have that bad manager with him. Like that, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I didn't see Clash of Champions, but I'm kind of upset that it was, Jay Uso that he fought? Was it
Did Clash of Champions happen already?
Wasn't it yesterday?
No, there's no way they had 3 pay-per-views in a row.
I thought for some reason. Well, I thought it was yesterday for some reason, but I could be wrong. But I want to see.
Unless I missed it.
I want to see the Usos and Roman Reigns together. Like I want to those 3 with Paul Heyman over.
September 27th.
Oh damn! So for some reason I thought it was yesterday.
No, they had 2 pay-per-views back to back, dude.
They did that back to back. They did SummerSlam and Payback, right?
Yeah, it was so weird. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But
well, you don't have to pay for travel, right? Just keep them going.
Yeah, I'm all right with it. I want to see where it goes, but it was kind of weird. Heyman's like, you guys are mistaken. He perverted me. And I'm like, whoa. So can we please phrasing, all right?
Yeah, let's work on how. You're not new to this, Paul.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah. Maybe they're trying to push the boundaries, by like putting it in people's heads.
Well, I heard that they want to go to 14 again.
Yeah.
They want to try. I don't know if they're going to do blood.
Well, they have to. AEW's killing each other over there. They're like, all right, we're WWE. You want to be PG? We're gonna bounce skulls off of concrete. Beat us.
Did Matt Hardy wake up yet?
We're gonna drown. We're gonna pretend to drown each other in.
Oh, fucking Chris Jericho. He wasn't concussed. Chris, listen. I understand that you work for the company, but come on. He was out cold. He was concussed, man. Like
even if he wasn't concussed, and Matt Hardy says he's fine with it, we all saw his skull bounce off the fucking concrete, which was gnarly.
Dude, the referee, when she looked at him and she was like in panic mode. When she looked at him, she looked up, like she looked over and she's like, ah.
But I don't know how this worked out perfect, but since we're talking about The Rock, Ken Shamrock, and Mankind does a double arm DDT on Shamrock. Shamrock gets up, and I guess this is the finisher. But Mankind nails Shamrock with the chair. Nasty, dude.
Ooh, yeah. Well, what about when Shamrock brings that chair into the ring? And Mankind's kind of like against the cage, and Shamrock runs at him and swings and hits the cage, and you could hear it. I'm like,
yeah,
man, Mankind's been around for a long time, so he knew to get out of the way.
Yeah,
Shamrock was like about a year and a half or so, I'm going to say, in the company. That looked like Shamrock didn't have his timing down, and if Mankind didn't catch that, his head was going to be between cage and chair, and like Mankind is only like 3 months away from the Royal Rumble where he almost gets murdered with chair shots. But
11?
Shamrock, man, like it was WrestleMania that year, I think it was, when Shamrock gets hit in the head with the chair and he's on his knees and he looks at The Rock and he says, "Come on!" And The Rock and Shamrock has his hands down, looking up, and The Rock clocks him square, and Shamrock is out, and I watch it now and I'm like, he's dead. He's fucking dead.
No, that's just why he does opiates now in his 50s.
But oh yeah, like that chair shot when they said Shamrock's still out cold and like the Rock sitting in the corner and Mankind's like walking around the match is over and Shamrock and they're like he's still out cold. I'm like fucking right he is. like Mankind took like 3 inches off of his height at that point with that chair shot, man.
Oof. Savage match. There were some crazy spots in this. We have Mankind. Oh my god, dude! This match tells a hilarious story, beautiful story. I don't know. It just tells a great story.
It's entertaining in every way, from like the violence, the comedy, the match itself. Like you were saying, the way that they turn on each other, and at one point, it was 2-on-1, 2-on-1, 2-on-1. At one point, it was 1-on-1-on-1. Like there was so much to take in, and it was like just under 20 minutes.
So we have Mick Foley goes to the top. It's one of the second time, or the first time he goes up, The Rock pulls him in by the hair.
Yeah.
Second time he goes up, he sees The Rock on the floor, and and you see the idea form in his head, and then he stands and he superfly snuckas it. He fucking does the snucka with his dude Love exposed and everything, and poof, and misses. The Rock moves. So he hits canvas.
This was like, I don't know if it's me just being nitpicking or if it's me being a nerd, but the way that they talked, like when he's on the top of the cage and they're like, oh, he's thinking about that time when he saw Snuka. And I'm like, 13 months earlier at SummerSlam 97, Mankind versus Triple H in a cage match, they did the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Mankind's on the top of the cage and Jim Ross said almost the exact same line. Mankind reverting back to being a child in Long Island watching Snuka. I'm like, how the fuck did you not? You did this last year, and now you're rehashing it. I mean, the previous year he hit the elbow drop, but when he ripped open his shirt, he had a heart painted on his chest because of all the sweat. It washed away. So this time he's like, I'm just gonna wear the shirt.
Yeah, this time he had the Dude Love shirt, and you could see it. Yeah,
everyone's gonna know that Dude Love.
The Rock moves though.
Oh, when he landed and rolled. Oh man.
Yeah, no, that was a harsh fall.
And the thing that got me was Mankind, like Rock's out cold, Shamrock's out cold. You can win by pinfall, submission, or escape in the cage. There's a door. There's 2 guys out cold, and Mankind chooses to climb the cage. It's like, come on, man. Like, why? Like, and it's funny too was he's at the top of the cage, and you hear 1, 2, 3. Rock wins. The Rock's music starts playing. Mankind hits the floor and puts his hands up. Like,
it's a work.
I know, but it's like no, but it's like it's so like, come on, like give me that little bit of reality.
Mm-hmm.
But like when Rock's music's playing and Mankind's celebrating, it's like, come on, dude. Like
Jim Ross and JR have to tell him.
Yeah, that's right. They're like, no, you were climbing down. They counted 3.
Yeah. They explain it to him.
And then Shamrock wakes up and grabs the chair and starts smashing the announcer's table.
Yeah, he chases after Mankind. But
such a great match. This match, like the 2 triple threat matches in this card, steal the show up and down, left, right, center, like all over the place. They just.
Oh, we have no IC belt because Triple H is like Intercontinental Champion, but he's injured, so he didn't make it here.
That's right. Yeah.
So maybe that's why they put the title on X-Pac, because they wanted all of the DX to have the title. So they have the tag titles. He has Intercontinental Championship, and then they put the European.
Yeah.
But a week before, like, still, come on.
Yeah. But I mean, for a number one contenders match, throw into a cage, fucking, oof, what a match.
Yeah. So The Rock picks up the pin after Mankind hits Ken Shamrock with the chair. He goes to climb out and JR and King sell it as The Rock kind of was playing possum watching Mankind climb out, and as he climbed out, he ran for the pin, got the pin, got the 3 count, and The Rock says, "Know your role and shut your hole."
And what The Rock got some color too, and I didn't really see where, but when he was on the top of the cage with Mankind, he was fine. But then after when he's down, he has a little bit of color to him. I don't know where exactly that happened. I don't know if it was an actual blade or if it was the hard way, but just a little color.
Yeah, the people's elbow was cut. Or eyebrow,
Oh,
sorry.
that double people's elbow.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about that. The
That was
double
fucking
people's elbow.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was a fun move
Mm-hmm.
to hit them both. And what the one thing I thought was hilarious too was the Rock is in the ankle lock and Shamrock's. I don't know if Shamrock was just gassed, but like he's not selling it whatsoever. Like he's just like kind of like holding the Rock's ankle and just been like deep breathing. And Mankind just kind of like walks over and like pushes Shamrock with his foot, and then kind of like walks into the corner. And Jim Russell's like, and Mankind stomps out that attempt. I'm like more nudged him than anything, but okay.
Yeah.
I think everyone was a little tired at that point in the match. So they just needed a little break.
Mm-hmm. So did the network work fine? The password and login and everything?
Actually, I needed to get your cable provider, it said, but I still have Kara's account from because Kara has a Bell subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to utilize her Bell subscription for the network still. But
does Canada require that? Because they don't ask me for any of that.
I go on there, I punched in the email, the password, and then it said, please select your cable provider.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah, okay. So I went back and I tried Kara's I tried my account, like my email, my password.
Yeah.
With Kara's Bell account.
Okay, so it's just her Bell account, but it's still the.
Because if you have an account with Bell,
Mm-hmm.
you can access it no problem. You just have to click on who your cable provider is, even if you don't have cable. So like I could get it through my cable provider, even though I don't have cable. I just have the internet. I could probably set something up, but yeah, I didn't. I meant to message you about that the other day, just saying like, wasn't to ask you like what was the deal with the, because there was no American companies, right? It was all Canadian cable company. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I just I went with Kara's account.
Mm-hmm.
I got something to the divorce for wrestling.
That's weird though. I don't know why they would ask that if I'm paying them fucking money.
Yeah, like, and I don't know if it's like because when I put the password and the email in, no problem. But then it just said select your cable provider. I'm like, okay.
I wonder if it's ever asked me. Let me see on mine if it asked me for mine. If not, I have to figure it out then. If it's Sling through mine, then you just need the Sling.
Oh, okay.
Because I have Sling, but why is it asking for a network password?
It might be a Canadian thing, like because I could get to like. It accepted the email and the password, but then I had to select a cable provider to go forward.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's whose commercials you get. I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah, just to kind of see, like, make sure that everything's like legit. Like you're not in Dubai stealing someone's passwords and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's weird. All right. What's the match after this? Let me bring up the
Rhodes and Venus, isn't it?
Yes. So we have Dustin Rhodes, or Goldust as he was previously known.
Now he's a preacher.
Yeah, now he's a preacher. And his wife, how long is this her debuting with Val Venus?
No, she didn't. She debuted on Raw because they had made that movie, The Preacher's Wife.
Okay.
In the vignettes, I think this is the first time they were actually like in the arena together.
Okay. So they
had the story they had been together.
Okay. So yeah, Dustin Reynolds' wife has made a porno with Val Venus, the porn star / wrestler of the WWF.
And like they did this all the time. Ken Shamrock's sister, Ryan, when Val Venus was in the rivalry with Ken Shamrock, Val Venus was like, "Hey, I heard you had a sister. Yeah, we made a movie together." Val Venus gets in a rivalry with Dustin Rhodes. Hey, me and your wife, we made a movie together. Kai and Tai.
Yeah.
Hey, Yamaguchi's son. Heard you have a wife. Made a movie with her.
Yeah. Me choppy your pee-pee.
R.I.P. Yamaguchi-san.
Oh shit, he's dead.
Yeah, he died this year or last year. But yeah, man, like this, like, I think we talked about it off before we hit record. 12-year-old, 13-year-old Ryan perhaps should not have been watching Val Venus, man. Like, I missed a lot of the jokes. Like, when he's laying in the hotel room smoking the cigar, talking to Dustin on camera,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden, fucking Terry's head pops up from underneath the bed sheets. I was like, I don't remember any of this, and this is not acceptable for a fucking 12-year-old boy to be watching. I don't like.
What about her walking to the ring,
Holy fuck.
grabbing the mic like it's a big black cock?
Yeah. Oh my
She's
God.
totally cock worshipping the mic.
Yeah.
And Val Venus is handing it to her, and like he's holding it, and like she like can't fathom what to do with it, and she's got like both her hands on it, like, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And like during the whole match,
We've all heard the stories of Terry Reynolds, and she knows exactly what to do with it.
yeah. She's looking finer than ever though. She's looking the part. I'll say that much.
Yeah. Oh,
She's porn star hot.
like that outfit that she walked out in, like it looked like she had like a front thong on, like when she walked out, dude. Like, God, oh. Jim Ross was like, "Hey, her outfit looks like Val Venus's." I'm like, "That's what you're taking away? Her outfit? What about what's not being covered?" Jim Ross, like, Jerry King Lawler probably busted 3 loads just watching her walking out.
And during the walkouts and when they leave and then when they come in, she's straddling the shit out of fucking Val.
Oh,
she is all up on him, grabbing his nipples, touching his chest.
There's no way that they did not legit fuck.
Was she married to Dustin at this time?
I think so. It didn't make a difference.
She was banging everybody.
Everybody.
Because they're not together. There's no way they're together.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard that when they were together, like it didn't make a difference to her.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew about it, supposedly. It was kind of like Sunny and her husband. It was like, you know what, it kind of sucks, but like she's the bigger draw than me.
That fucking sucks, man.
What's Dustin going to do? Dustin's going to go, "Hey, Vince, my wife's banging everybody. Can you tell her to stop?" Yeah, here's some polka dots. Like, that's like...
But imagine fucking being a wrestler and all your wrestling buddies are just banging your wife.
Ooh, fuck, dude, man. What else? Ugh. And to know about it and be not able to do anything about it because she's the bigger draw than you.
Well, you gotta start fucking. Like, groupies.
Oof. Yeah, but still, then what? Then she says, you did what? I want a divorce. Then you're out of the company because Vince wants her, not you. But like, I don't know, like, God, like, Terry, man, she was something else.
Yeah, super sexual. She wrestled a couple of times, didn't she?
Oh yeah, it was with like Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah,
but like when Val comes out, and like it's known that he made a movie with her, but that was it. And then when Val Venus comes out and Dustin Rhodes is in the ring, and he's like, "Dustin, here's something that I've heard a lot lately. Here she comes," and she comes out from the backstage. Is like, "Fuck, man!" Like, not even hiding it. Like, just straight out in the open. These guys were like, you remember Val Venus' shirt? "I'm cocked, locked, ready to unload," and just like white writing, and it's all dripping.
Yeah,
it's like, fuck. Oh man, Val Venus is something else. Made a goddamn brilliant career out of it. I want to see him go to the Hall of Fame just so that they can have a speech. I want him to cut one more like 20-minute promo.
What is he doing? Didn't he come back recently for something? No, right? No, he's selling weed, I think.
Yeah, he's at a dispensary out in the States.
That's pretty cool.
After he did Val Venus, then he turned into the Right to Censor.
Yeah.
And then he was like Eric Bischoff's right-hand man, and then he just kind of slowly disappeared.
Have you ever seen the meme that says Right to Censor actually won? Because WWE's PG?
Yeah. It took him a while, but they finally did it.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, because what was it? There was that other meme was like Val Venus went from porn star to selling weed, and RVD went from weed to being basically a porn star character now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
They just
Val
switch
Venus
spots.
yeah.
Val Venus hits his money shot on Dustin. Gets the 1-2-3 clean victory. Takes his
Well,
wife
not
and
there's
bangs
money.
her. That's the name of his finisher.
No, but you said it was a clean finish, but
Oh.
not if there's money. And then yeah, like when they're making out in the ring afterwards, like they're making out in the ring afterwards, like
It's a it's a work, bro.
but like I like again, like Dustin's like walking away looking upset, and I'm like, is he selling it or is he legit hurt right
It's a work.
now?
It's a work, Ryan. Can you
I don't know,
understand
man.
this?
He looked pretty fucking devastated.
I would feel a certain way.
I mean, even if they're divorced at that point in time,
It depends
like,
depends on how much money I got.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
But Val Venus is super jacked though, and he does look like a porn star.
yeah. And when you see Dustin's body, he's like, Dustin. He's a fan, like, one of my favorites to watch because he's like an absolute professional, but he's not the most ripped guy in the locker room.
Don't be talking shit about my son.
Yeah. Dude, there was like a couple spots too, like where Dustin went over the top rope pretty hard too. Like it was again good storyline, fun match, but there was what we talked about. This match kind of goes to show you what this match is all about, really. And all about voluntary.
Definitely don't let your kids watch that match. I'd be like, hey, Connor, let's go make a sandwich and fast forward to this.
Yep, skip.
Yes.
And then
Daddy, what is she doing with the mic?
She's trying to find the off button.
Yeah. She just really likes it.
Yeah, but then I hit the fast forward button and I get the fucking Southern Justice and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, you get a boring ass match or a shit match.
It was just
why was it there? Either Southern Justice versus the New Age Outlaws for the title, and then we have fucking Jarrett versus X-Pac for the European. But no, we have a 6-man for nothing, or put them all on the line.
I was gonna say, why not just do a 6-man, all or nothing?
Yeah,
everything on the table.
Yes,
winner take all.
Exactly. Ryan, we should be bookers.
But it's funny too because they're like at Jeff Jarrett with a new haircut, and they let's not forget at SummerSlam, X-Pac beat him. He had to get his hair cut, so he went and he hired Southern Justice to help get back.
Oh.
I'm like, so he had to cut his hair, and because he had to cut his hair, he went and got bodyguards.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, Southern Justice are the Godwins.
Yeah, but they're going by their real names because they were calling them like Mark Canterbury.
Yeah.
Which was Henry Godwin. So they, I don't get it, but
it's because when they were the Godwins, they were
pig farmers.
Well, the names were
Hog and Pig.
Yeah, so they were kind of like play on words or whatever.
Yeah. So that was Mark Canterbury and Dennis Knight.
Yeah.
And their Southern Justice. And I'm not lying when I say Post Malone could easily be Dennis Knight, like the curly down hair, the scraggly beard, like put some tattoos on his face. Post Malone, baby.
I could see it, but these guys are like 3 Post Malones in one.
That's true. Yeah, like size-wise, there's a big difference, but
size-wise, there are 3 of them in one, and they're still jacked. It's just I don't know. They just didn't have captivating characters.
Yeah, and like they were as the Godwins, they were fun. It was a fun gimmick.
Were they DOA too? No, right?
No. DOA was something different. It was like the fake Undertaker, Crush, and the Harris Brothers.
Okay.
But like the Godwins were fun. Southern Justice just didn't. They just missed the mark. It just didn't. They didn't go with Jarrett. They could have had something on their own. It might have been fine, but with Jarrett, to me, it didn't do much. And the match was such a cluster.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ending of the match when they have the guitar and they're trying to smash the guitar and whatnot, and the referee takes it and Jarrett gets it and smashes X-Pac.
Yeah.
And so like X-Pac's out, Road Dogg's missing, Billy Gunn hits the Famouser, Jeff Jarrett's is right there. I think it was Canterbury's standing on the apron, and Billy Gunn pins the guy 1, 2, 3 clean in the ring. Like, why did no one stop the pinfall?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like
It's because it's match shouldn't have been. That's why.
So it was. I mean, again, it was one of those things with the storyline that I guess I get why they did it, but if you didn't have this match, I wouldn't have said, you know what, a 6-man tag at this point would be perfect. But I mean, they do what they got to do.
Yeah. After this is the main event, right?
Yeah, triple threat match. Kane can't pin the Undertaker. Undertaker can't pin Kane. No one can interfere on Austin's behalf. Like stipulation after stipulation after stipulation.
The beautiful smoking skull belt is on the line.
Ooh, one of my favorite belts.
Yeah, I have it, but it's in my Stone Cold defining moments.
I have it, and it's on top of my fridge on my Stone Cold defining moment.
Son of a bitch. I hate you. I should have gotten 2 of them when I had the chance. I knew it.
Well, if you want to open it, I'll just let you borrow my son for 2 hours. He loves opening those things.
No.
All you gotta do is if you
hide everything else.
You put a wrestler in a box on a table with my son. You leave the room for 1 minute, and when you come back, it's open.
It's because they're over. When wrestlers are in boxes, they're over.
Yeah. And then after they're in the box, he's just like, I don't want to play with it anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're not in a box anymore, so they're not over.
Good thing you're a cute kid.
He hasn't broken a TV anytime soon, so.
Well, if he breaks this TV, I'm fucked. Daddy can't get another TV at this point in time.
God dang.
Not until FHP starts paying me.
Yeah, not until FHP starts making money.
Yeah. Hit the download button, guys.
Yeah, then we all get TVs. That'd be nice. I do need a new TV.
No, this was a fantastic, like we've talked about earlier, like this storyline of McMahon wanting to fuck Austin over and get that title, and Austin cannot be the champion of the company. For it happened in King of the Ring with Kane, and he gets the title right back. And so McMahon's making this mission, and like after he beats Michaels for the title, he gets a couple matches with Dude Love. But then it's straight into this Undertaker-Kane storyline. Undertaker's helping Kane win the title, but Undertaker hates Kane. Kane costs Undertaker the title, but then Kane helps Undertaker win matches. So it's amazing. So are they together or are they not? And then they kind of join forces a little bit SummerSlam, but then Undertaker tells him leave. Like, I'm beating Austin clean one-on-one. And now here they finally get it. They're going to basically in a handicap match, but only, who's going to get the pin kind of deal. Like, it's such a fantastic story leading into this match. And like last night when you spoiler alert, Kane turned on Taker or whatever it was.
Well, like, it just goes to show you how white hot heat Austin had, because they put 2 of the biggest guys in one match against him, with the little space for them to, maybe they can go at each other. But Kane, one of the biggest heels of all time. Undertaker, one of the biggest heels of all time too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When Undertaker was a heel, he was over like that. Like it was all or nothing with him and his character then.
And to put him in one match, and just how strong Austin comes out of it, and he doesn't wind up winning, but it feeds into the bigger storyline of this was a 3-on-1. Mr. McMahon, all this whole time, has been wanting me to lose it. He had made the promo leading up to this. He's been telling everyone how tired he is of me being the champion.
Austin's not leaving tonight with the belt. Was
I guarantee it.
And then they even had like the Stooges standing there watching the match to make sure to make sure that everything would go to plan. Like
Commissioner Sergeant Slaughter kicks. Was it Commissioner? Yeah, right. It was Sergeant Slaughter. He kicks him in the head. Or he kicks Austin. He hits Austin. It was a fantastic match, and
it's Austin getting his ass kicked and then kicking ass. And then eventually Kane and Taker have to kind of deal with each other a little bit.
On something to wrestle with, they always reference that Hogan always had his big bads that he relied on. And when he went to WCW, he relied on those same big bads. And maybe they did not get the popularity that they needed in WCW. but they were super over in WWF. And to me, like I was mentioning earlier, Austin was so hot that they put two of their biggest guys against Austin at the same time because they knew what they had.
Well, and Austin also had that thing where he didn't like Austin defended the title against your Dude Love, your Taker, your Kane, The Rock, the Triple H, like, Kurt Angle. Like you could put anyone with Austin. Like Austin didn't like it could be a ground grappler kind of guy, a big monster kind of guy. Like it didn't matter. Like Hogan always had to be the underdog, even though he was the champion. Mm-hmm. And coming on top, Austin Austin was just like, I'm just gonna go kick ass. And, like it didn't matter. Like it's like who you put whoever you want in front of me, I'll kick their ass. They can be big, small. I could be favorite. I could be the underdog. Stock the cards against me. Like whatever it takes. Like.
So the match starts off. Kane comes in. Taker comes in, and as Taker's walking in, Austin attacks with the chair. Right away, tries to take out Undertaker so he can focus on Kane. Starts attacking Kane. Eventually, Kane is able to get at Austin a little bit, slow him down a bit till Undertaker gets in. They take over a little bit. Then they start beating the shit out of Austin, and they're beating him. He comes back. He'll come back eventually against one of them or two of them, knock one out, but then the other one comes back in. They're beating him on the outside. And on one of the attempts on the outside, Undertaker goes to punch Austin, and he punches Kane. And this is where we kind of see the first crack in the foundation.
Yeah, it starts to happen now, yeah.
Yeah, so more and more now they're at each other's throat, and Undertaker's like, we had an agreement, and he pushes Kane, and Kane's not having it. So now we have both of them either mad at each other, so helping out Austin now, or both of them realizing, hey, I want to be champion, or Kane realizing I want to be champion too, because probably the understanding was, I'm going to win Kane, I'm the older brother, I'm the Undertaker, whatever.
Right, yeah.
So now Kane's like, you know what, fuck that, I want to be champion, so he's helping out Austin, and then at one point, Undertaker's like, well, if you're going to help out Austin, I'm going to help out Austin. And at one point, you see Austin kind of like, ha ha ha, I fucking turned these two guys against each other now. And now I'm in it. Now I have a chance of winning.
And you always think that Austin's going to win. Mm-hmm. Because he always, like, at the King during the first blood match, Kane had the mask, and he also had, like, the one sleeve that normally was missing. He had the full sleeve. Mm-hmm. So it looked like Austin was probably going to lose some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, Austin always seemed to get the upper hand on McMahon. He always figured it out. And at this point in time, you start thinking, like, oh, maybe Austin's actually going to figure out a way to win this match. Like, maybe something will happen.
Yeah. And that definitely opened it up once they started turning on each other and helping Austin out. And they're attacking each other. It's like they can't even pin each other, and they're attacking each other. It's going to leave it open for Austin to hit the stunner on either both of them or one of them after one capitalizes on the other. And Sergeant Slaughter interferes. Austin attacks Briscoe, I think, at one point.
Yeah. After the match, not to jump too far ahead, but Austin and kind of beats up the Stooges, but Jerry Briscoe and Austin, they got a little slugfest going on for a while there. I was actually impressed that Briscoe was allowed to get some shots on Austin.
I heard Briscoe's a tough guy, but speaking of Briscoe, he was released recently.
Yeah, he put out like a statement, like 36 years with WWE, and now it's over.
But he said he's still going to stick around in the back.
He was released, I think, back with the early cuts.
The furlough?
But he was kind of like, I think he was released, but just kind of kept on pay.
Yeah.
But now it was announced that he's not going to be back with the company. But I think he's either going to stick with them in I think personally he's going to be a very minor role,
ambassador kind of,
or he'll just kind of maybe just do something with like Ring of Honor, because I think his like a great nephew, grandkid, kid, something like that is there, like the Briscoe brothers part 2 are down there, I think, in Ring of Honor. So I think he might do something with that. But
yeah, well, WWE has a lot of ties in the indies, so he can go do something over there, help out.
Yeah,
or maybe retire. He's been in it forever. He's probably got a lot of money.
So many people say, "Oh, Jerry Briscoe's going to go to AEW." I'm like, for what?
Yeah,
he's 80 years old. What's he going to do on camera on AEW?
Oh, nothing. Speaking of that, people were like, Brock to AEW. I'm like, it's yeah. I'm like, it's clear that AEW does not want Brock. Like, if you watch AEW, there's no plans of ever bringing in Brock. Even if they brought him in, like, I I don't know who would be shocked.
When Brock was released, the 3 names that came up were WWE, UFC, and Bellator.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fans that want him to go to AEW, it's cute, but what's he gonna do?
I don't want him there.
But even if what's he gonna do at AEW?
I want him to come back to WWE. To be honest,
but I mean, like if Lesnar goes to AEW, he's not gonna get the WWE contract. He's not gonna get the 6 appearances a year, and he's not gonna be able to be the AEW champion and not be on camera every single week. He's not gonna get what he had.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cody Rhodes is not going to be like, yeah, we'll put the title on him like they did in WWE, and he's not going to go to AEW just to fight Jericho, then disappear, then come back and fight Rhodes, and then disappear, and then come back and fight Omega and disappear. Like, it's not their.
I think that's
not their formula, and it's not beneficial to him.
I think WWE is finally pulling his bluff, and they're like, look, we don't need you as much as you think we need you. Either you come back for a long run and you tour with us, or go fight in the UFC because we know you don't want to get your ass beat.
Well, I feel like Stipe said that he wants to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
That came out, I think, yesterday
Jones
or today.
It also said that.
Yeah, Jones wants to fight him, Stipe wants to fight him, and Bellator wants to do Lesnar versus Fedor.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that makes sense to me is Fedor, because
that
of
does
Brock's
make sense.
age.
That does.
It's the only one that makes sense. It's Brock's age. Brock would get murdered by Jones, and he would get murdered by Stipe at this point in time of his career.
What are you talking about? He's gonna go in there and shooting star press both of them.
Yeah, or give him to Ngannou. Brock versus Francis Ngannou. There you go. Book it. Fight Island.
Imagine if he takes down Ngannou and just holds him there all 3 rounds.
Like that Mark Hunt fight.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Think
It
about
would
that
happen
one.
too.
It could happen. It's very likely. Ngannou has to rush in and land a shot.
Unless Lesnar comes in for a takedown, he fucking just gets uppercutted like over him.
Nah, I don't think Brock has the balls to go in for the takedown on that guy. Like he's gonna wait. He's gonna counter the punch and try to shoot on a punch on a commitment.
There's no one in the UFC that I want to see Brock Lesnar fight. Bellator is the only place where I could see him making any waves because of the aging roster, to put it nice. But yeah, AEW and Lesnar is slowly roll there. Like
he's going to AEW and he's gonna face Le Champion, and then he's gonna go on and face Orange Cassidy, and he's totally gonna sell everything that they do. You know it.
Yeah. You don't think that it's gonna Dominic Mysterio there in AEW versus Lesnar? Rusev?
Oh yeah, Miro is now in AEW for those people that don't know what Ryan's talking about.
That was a shot at Mark Marrow.
Oh, is it?
Because of the Sable
comparisons?
The whole Sable and Lana and Rusev to Mero. So like how they got rid of the guy to keep the girl. So they're so that's why they just changed the E to an I. That was something I heard. I don't know how true it is, but that was something that I heard the other day.
I don't know.
But he looks I don't know.
But Lana got everyone screwed on that TikTok and YouTube and every deal. She got everyone banned from that.
Yeah, that's right.
We talked about it Saturday, I think.
That was hilarious. I love Vince McMahon so much.
Well,
you cannot use your personal name and fuck off.
Well, she was. So the thing is, she was promoting energy drinks. If WWE wants to get into energy drink business, like promoting and or for someone else, that's in direct competition with them. So
Yeah.
I get it, but pay your employees more, I guess, if they need to go out there and be making fucking.
Well, it's like they get sponsored. Like any other sport, you get sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
And WWE says that they're independent contractors. So if they're independent contractors, they have every right to sign their contracts. So they're independent.
See, this is what you don't understand. They're WWE's independent contractors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, but Vince just wants everyone to start pushing Ico Pro again.
Yeah. Brett said it tasted like feet or something, or smelled like feet.
Yeah, it was like just the fucking nastiest shit. Man, oh man.
We're on the last match, right? We're
talking about the triple threat match before we got sidetracked with Lesnar and everything else there.
And I think we talked about it for a little bit too. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So Austin is just trying to He's trying to get a comeback, but he can't. The Stooges are even there to stop him, and he eventually gets double choke slammed by Kane and the Undertaker. They eventually, get back on the same page. Double choke slam him and pin him.
Yeah, at the same time, they each kind of lay like they both, instead of going like chest to chest, they both put their back on his chest, but they're almost like their heads are touching, kind of.
Yeah. They're kind of holding down each one of his shoulders.
Yeah,
in a way.
And they got the 1, 2, 3, and there's no champion because they can't have a co-champion.
And Vince leaves with the title, takes off in the limousine. Austin is visibly seen to be pissed because that's his Smoking Skull title.
Yeah.
And he lost it because of bullshit. And that's how the pay-per-view ends.
Yeah, Vince McMahon. It was weird because Vince is in the limo and he drives away. And then Austin runs to the back. And he's standing there and you can see where the limo was parked and it's gone. And then you hear Vince McMahon yelling at him, and he turns and he looks, and Vince McMahon is there, yelling at him. I'm like, how did what? I was confused at first. I'm like, what the? I thought they drove away. Like, why is he back? But yeah, but he's got the belt. He's like, I told you, Austin. I told you.
Yeah, so he takes off with the belt, drives off, and that's how it ends. And before we end the show or move on, I want to mention that also on Raw, the next day, that's one of the most memorable moments in Austin's career, with the feud with Mr. McMahon, the Zamboni.
Yeah.
Where he comes out and he sprays everyone with beer.
Yeah. In that Joe Louis?
What?
The Zamboni was.
Sorry, no. He just comes out and he almost kills Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, he drives the Zamboni down, and he runs across the top of the Zamboni and tackles McMahon.
Yeah.
Beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, it's the one where he hits the. It's where the ring is red, right? Because he's celebrating that he's got the championship. Undertaker and Kane are in there, and then he crashes into the ring, and then jumps up on it, and then runs and jumps onto Vince, right? And starts punching him in the face.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
I don't know why I thought it was the beer one.
The beer one was right before WrestleMania.
I was thinking of the milk one before that, right in my head.
It was another. Yeah, the beer one was the following WrestleMania. It's 6 months away.
I didn't even think about it now, but Kenny Omega does the milk thing, which now I don't like. But it has been like 20 years.
Yeah. Kurt Angle. Fuck, man, that was one of the
Wrestling
best.
in life is cyclical, man. I don't know if I could complain. I can if I want to, and if I could be picky, but
yeah.
The Rock wasn't the first Rock. Fucking
Don Morocco, baby.
Yeah, Ric Flair wasn't the original Ric Flair.
Nope. Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers.
Yeah. Stone Cold was the original Stone Cold. Goldberg was a copy of him.
Yeah, Goldberg was Stone Cold Light.
Goldberg was Stone Cold with no mic skills or wrestling skills.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the best way to describe Goldberg, eh?
Same hype, and then they're like, wait a minute, this guy can't wrestle or speak on the mic. We're out.
I used to love people like, oh man, Goldberg would kick Austin's ass. I'm like, well, maybe. Maybe not also. But then as you get older, you're like, Goldberg would probably just cripple Austin by botching a couple of moves.
Yeah, kick him in the head, give him brain damage.
He almost paralyzed the Undertaker in Saudi Arabia.
You don't realize how big Austin is. Austin's big. He's a big motherfucker.
He's huge. He's like I think because like you said, like he was fighting like a Kane and Undertaker it's like the Scott Hall thing. People think that Scott Hall's small, but it's because he's staying next to 7-foot Kevin Nash all the time.
Someone that doesn't get their due for being a huge motherfucker that we saw earlier. Mr. S.
I was gonna say, Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. Badass Billy Gunn's like almost. He's like 6'9".
Yeah, like they were talking on the Bruce Pritchard on the Rock 1999 one that I referenced earlier with Owen Hart. They were talking about how they tried to get him over in '99. He fought The Rock, and they were trying to push him as a big singles thing. He won King of the Ring. He had the Intercontinental title. They wanted to they wanted to see how far he could go, and he just couldn't do it on his own. And it's one of those things. It's like because he was. I still think that Billy Gunn's another one of those guys in the Attitude Era that was just a little underrated because of the fact that he was tied down to a tag team and to a faction.
Yeah,
he didn't really get his dues as a in-ring competitor.
Well, he even won the championship with Smoking Guns, or was it?
Smoking Guns, New Age Outlaws, Billy and Chuck when they were like that weird, kind of gay but not gay.
Yeah. So he went from a pretty successful tag team to one of the greatest factions of all time. So it did hinder his singles career, but
he was always he might be one of the best tag team wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
But it definitely hurt him in a solo career for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is, I guess, right?
Yeah. So that's all she wrote, Ryan. That's In Your House Breakdown 1998 or Breakdown In Your House 1998, whichever way you want to say it.
We broke down Breakdown.
Yeah, we broke down the Breakdown. It was a good pay-per-view. I liked it. It was out of a slump. Not one of the best, but it was very enjoyable, very nostalgic.
That's it, right? To me, like I nitpicked a lot about the couple of the storyline issues and that, but at day's end, man, the Attitude Era for me, that I'm good.
I'd kill to have a pay-per-view like this. This is a good pay-per-view nowadays. This would be like I'm tuning in every week kind of pay-per-view if they had if they had it nowadays.
Like when people say, like, I love when people are like, "Oh man, AEW is way better than WWE."
Oh, in your face, Ryan! AEW with 1 million views. Oh yeah, what are you gonna do, Ryan? 1 year, yeah, 1 year, not even, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. So AEW got 1 million views. The Rock and Mankind did The Rock, This Is Your Life, and got 8 million. So when AEW can have two guys do a 14-minute segment on This Is Your Life and get 8 million, we can talk.
2020, all right? Ratings are very different.
When Orange Cassidy fucking tells Chris Jericho, "This is your life,"
I would like to.
And look, here's where AEW misses the mark. You have Orange Cassidy and you have Jericho with a little bit of the bubbly. Champagne and orange juice go beautiful together. What the fuck? Hey, come on, man. You have Team Mimosa, the Rock and Sock connection of 2020. Team Mimosa. There you go, AEW. $1 million idea.
I would like to see the what the inflation numbers are for views. Because $1 million's killing nowadays. $1 million's killing it.
$1 million's a fan. And the other thing too, like I think we talked about it before, but with the network, they don't necessarily get the proper rate. Like when they say, "Oh, NXT only had this many ratings," but with the amount of people that watch it on the network too, and the amount of people and to be fair, AEW has DVR, right? So like there's also like that kind of stuff that whatever. But
I DVR NXT on USA it's on USA.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have to if they played it on Tuesdays and didn't want to compete and have a war and just let wrestling fans enjoy wrestling all week.
That's like what I said to you and Jeff, man. If Jeff said NXT should stick to Tuesdays, and I said, and I fully agree with that. But AEW can throw their Thursday show together, and we can have wrestling 5 days a week. Damn. And then if AEW wants to do their Saturday pay-per-views and WWE wants to do Sunday pay-per-views, woo-hoo!
They don't have to compete with each other. They can just let us watch wrestling and enjoy success.
And that's something that I've joked about AEW a lot, but at day's end, like the more guys that have a chance to get out there, the better it is.
I like both of them, but I just give you shit because you give AEW shit.
Yeah, and that's like
Finn's back, his champion.
And that's
spoiler.
People do need to stop saying that NXT is developmental because it's not developmental anymore. NXT is it's evolved into its own brand. It was developmental.
It's different.
It's 9-10 years ago it was developmental, but now it's the NXT brand. It's its own thing now.
It's strong style.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like a New Japan in the US.
It's what needed to compete with AEW. I think people just watch the main fucking brands because, it's nostalgic, it's Raw, it's SmackDown. I watch because I watch wrestling.
That's it, right? Yeah.
NXT is where the real wrestling is for WWE, and AEW is the competition for that right now. And that's why,
like, when Finn went back to NXT, and I remember me and Jeff had like a big thing back and forth about it. I loved the fact that Finn went back to NXT because he fits better in NXT. And like there are guys that I want to see. I would have loved to have seen Gallows and Anderson instead of getting released. Send them to NXT, man.
Yeah.
Zack Ryder would have fit perfectly in NXT. The fact that they're changing from, like we said, from a developmental territory to its own brand, WWE has so many guys that they could just kind of slip in, no problem. But I don't know. Vince doesn't want to do it. He wants to keep it as being, like Keith Lee, put the title on him for 1 month, take the title off of him, and then move him up to the main roster. It makes no sense.
And dude was injured. Fucking
Yeah,
Karrion Kross was injured.
Yeah.
It sucked.
So now, yeah. Although we did get a couple badass matches out of that, so I'm not going to be overly upset with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's trying to do something for the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, and again, Keith Lee, to his credit, like him and Randy Orton are kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like when Randy Orton last week tried to hit the RKO and Keith Lee just kind of stood there. That was pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And the new Nation of Domination that we got going on.
The Hurt Business?
Yeah. Because that was supposed to happen at WrestleMania, right? They were supposed to bring back the Nation of Domination.
Yeah.
But then they decided to put it on hold because of all like the race issues that are happening in the States. And then they're like, hey, instead of calling it the Nation, how about we just rebrand it? But it's clear what their story was going to be because they're all black guys. You know what I mean? It's not like they're like it's. You can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to make the Nation. Now they're like, I love it.
They just added Houston Alexander. Or was it? Is that his name? Cedric Alexander.
Houston Alexander was UFC.
Yeah, he was the guy that went to jail.
Yeah.
Schaub choked him out or beat him up.
Yeah. And then it was no, that was LeVar Johnson.
Okay, yeah.
Kimbo Slice beat Houston Alexander in his UFC debut.
Yep, there you go.
But like, and that's the thing, like WWE, like with the Hurt Business, man, if they're smart and they can put together something else and like have like that Monday Night Raw Attitude Era feel of like a couple factions that are going back and forth, man, like why not, man? Try something. But I don't know. I'll have to see what they do.
Yeah. I think business is picking up, to be honest. I'm liking the storylines a little bit more. Especially with the Fiend, and they're adding. They're actually putting. What's her name?
Oh, Bliss.
Yeah, Bliss she's doing the.
She did the Sister Abigail the other night on Nikki Cross.
Yeah. Dude, so you remember how I told you that when the Fiend beat someone, they turned if they were either face or heel.
Right.
I'm hoping that they do a whole show thing where people start getting taken over by the Fiend. Like, and they fall under his cult.
Kind of like Ministry of Darkness with Undertaker.
Yeah.
That would be fucking badass.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
That'd be something cool that I would like to see.
Almost like the Wyatt family, but a little more darker.
Yeah, and for like, I don't know, for some reason, they come out during his matches or something and they interfere randomly and they don't know why. And it causes feuds between... I guess it would have to be someone that he's facing. But it could be someone that he's not... It could be for a title opportunity. If they beat the Fiend, he gets a title opportunity. Or if they beat Bray Wyatt, they get a chance at the Fiend, and that person's friend or manager or tag team partner interferes, and that causes feuds between people, and they're facing him, and like that person that was in direct contact with, I don't know, they can do, like, this is just me shooting shit out. They're creative people. They can do that. This is their job. I'm just building off of what they've created already, and it's something that they could do that sounds pretty cool. That I just shat it out of my head.
I'm down for it. And those are like fun ideas.
And then he cannibalizes the Undertaker. Come on, let's do it.
You've been on that for way too long.
Like 5 years, 6 years. Since he faced the Undertaker at WrestleMania, that's actually when.
That's when it all started.
Yeah.
When Bray Wyatt took on the Undertaker.
Yeah, Ryan or Jesus was dying. He was laughing so hard. That's why we've kept it going, because he was like, "That's so crazy."
That's funny.
I was ripped. I was high as shit, like always, and I was like, "What if he just fucking ate the Undertaker and became him?" I'm ripped. I'm ripped right now.
That's fun.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm not gonna take any more of your time. I know it's already late. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, man, it was fun to be back. Hopefully, we can do this a couple more times before Frankie has Mondays available again, or if they get into the studio, like you were saying, they might they're thinking about doing that. Who knows? It's been, like I said, it's been way too long. My Monday nights are usually wide open, so we can always hit record if you want to, and talk some wrestling. I'm always down for it. Like we said, maybe a watch along of an old Raw or a Nitro, or just breaking down the pay-per-views, or even like a freestyle episode where we have really nothing planned. And just like how we talked Owen Hart there. I mean, me and you could probably talk Owen Hart and shit like that for a solid hour and a half, no problem. But
yeah, I'm definitely down because all I have to do is just know if we're gonna do it, and if we're gonna do it Mondays, then I just know to schedule my cooking early. Because I was cooking early today, and my mom's like, "You're cooking early," and I'm like, "Yeah, I got something to do." I'm like, "I got something."
yeah,
I
no,
don't tell her. I'm like, I have a podcast, mom, because she has no idea what the fucking a podcast is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got something to do online.
I have a radio show.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess with all the. So what's funny is, my mom, she's straight from Mexico. She didn't speak English. My dad, same thing. So it was like, we're taking you to school and dropping you guys off. You guys are pretty much on your own at that point. We don't speak the language. You guys understand it.
Right.
You guys know everything. You guys do your homework. You guys do this. We'll help you as far as we have to if we have to fill out papers. But you're going to fill them out for the most part. You're going to tell us, you're going to fill them out for us. And if you need information, you're going to put them in there for us. So I had to do a lot of stuff on my own growing up. And I helped, I guess, as much as I could. But it was still difficult for her because she didn't speak the language. Now, she has to learn how to use computers, and she has to use how to use online shit and Zoom.
Now you're
Because we have all my nieces and nephews here. So, like,
Right.
she's their guardian. She's taking care of two of them, three of them. The 14-year-old, the 7-year-old, and, like, how old is the other one? Like, 12? Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so she's having to deal with all this Zoom technology, and like she's like, "Hey, how do you make the screen bigger?" And I'm like, "Just press this." And she's like, "Oh, okay, thank you." I'm like, "Just had to hit one button."
That's funny.
Yeah, but she's learning how to do it, and the only way to learn how to do it is by doing it. So it's
Right.
tough on her, but she loves her grandkids, so that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Is cats attacking you over there?
Yeah.
Kitty.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Ryan. Did you have anything before we get out of here?
What's that?
Anything else before we get out of here?
No, just to all the listeners, keep supporting Rafa, keep hitting all those downloads and likes, and doing what you got to do to help him get that show going, man. Like, cause we like to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I know that Frankie and the guys that they love to jump on and do their thing. I know that the Fight Companions, the guys like to do their thing. Like, I don't think there's anyone that jumps on FHP that has a bad time. So, keep supporting Rafa and helping him do what he likes to do.
Mm-hmm. Well said, Ryan. Thanks a lot. And let me know what you want to do for next week, so we can so I can start doing some research on it and
For sure.
come out with some interesting facts and talking points. But like Ryan said, please keep on downloading. We still have the rest of the month, so I wanna kick the shit out of last month's or the highest month before this in terms of downloads. Go ahead and check out all our back catalog if you haven't already by now. Me and Ryan have covered a lot of pay-per-views, some Raws, some Nitros, the first SmackDown ever, WCW pay-per-views. We've done a lot. If I had to tell you off the top of my head, I have no idea. Ryan's helped me out a bunch, so I'm glad you're able to jump on again.
Always.
So we'll see what we can do next week. Tune in Saturday. We will be doing Fight Companion Tyrone Woodley versus Colby Covington.
Oh, for the love of sweet Jesus, Tyrone, please.
I think everyone's rooting for Woodley, or the majority or probably like half of the country actually.
I don't know. The one person that no matter who wins, the one person that loses is Jeff. Because Jeff hates Woodley.
Yeah.
Jeff doesn't like Covington either, so
Sorry.
whoever wins, Jeff loses.
Yeah, sorry, Jeff, but you're probably skip out on this card then, Jeff.
Yeah, he'll watch up to the main event and then peace out.
Yeah. Yeah, so go ahead, subscribe, smash that like button, leave a comment, and we will see you guys next time on the Full Heel Podcast.